All right, let's go ahead and get this show started. I'm already a little bit late, so sorry about that. For those of you who don't know, I'm Justin Banner. I'm the host of this little shindig called Carbage. Um, Use it mostly as a way of getting out and back into motorsports and to just be able to talk about things that really interest me, like the aftermarket and other automotive topics. So, today is a little bit special because I am trying to vary up my streaming schedule because I just want to see when you guys are on and want to follow. The main portion of the topic today, however, is not a great one. Some of you might already be familiar just because of the title of this stream, but it is about the demise of Irwindale and why that it's more than likely for real this time. And it comes down to a lot of factors, but for me, it was the wording of the release put out by Irwindale Speedway. We'll go ahead and give people just a few more minutes to try and get in on here, and also get this set up so I can have this ready. So, yeah. First, maybe I should give my brief history with Irwindale Speedway because it does have a special place for me. It was the event that finally made me realize this is something I'm willing to do and even try and put my own cash into it. Because at the time, I was doing stuff for drifting.com. Old school name. I'm sure some of you probably know who that or what that website is, at least within the drifting community. And that's more than likely how many of you got introduced to what I do. I not only started doing some writing on there, but I was also doing video. And normally had up until I think it was 2008. I want to say it was 2008 that I decided, you know what, I'm going to try and make Irwindale one year, and I did. Paid totally out of pocket and learn a few things about a certain debit card that didn't work, mostly in trying to get a rental car. But yeah, I started doing this on a really cheap AMD computer that I built myself on a little handy cam. Like literally, it was like a $20 or $30 handy cam that I was using, along with a um, a voice a voice note recorder. Basically, one of these guys. Though this is not the one. It's the same brand. I stuck with Olympus for a while. The bolt was stuck to it for some reason. But this is how I literally got started, was a handy cam and something like this. And the handy cam, I think at the time, was only like $20, maybe 30. And the most important part about it was the fact that it could do 1080p, because I knew that I needed something within that resolution at the time. And 2008 is still somewhat early YouTube history, so this is still early in trying to do something. But I don't know what's happened to those original videos. I do know that I used copyrighted music, so I'm not going to play that right now. But like I said, you can see here, these were, me doing stuff at Irwindale. Alex Pfeiffer, if you guys remember him, he's been out of drifting for a while. Nikolay Konstantinov. I still apologize to this guy if I ever see him, um, because I butchered his last name. I butcher everybody's last names. Unfortunately, I'm just not really good at it. But what I was really proud of it was that at that time, not only did I get Mad Mike Wadet in his prime, at least I believe it was his prime for the drifting community, but also Matt Field. I got Matt Field on his rookie year, and I've got to throw a thank you to Formula D for pointing Matt Field out. He's like, hey, this kid's going to be a star. And lo and behold, here he is. He's doing really well, has his own company now, the Drift Cave, and is now drifting a Corvette. He started out in a LS powered 240 SX, and what's kind of cool about his background is he's also an off-roader. He would drive trick trucks or trophy trucks, whatever brand you want to follow there. I think his dad still races off-road, but that's where his background comes from. But yeah, these four videos were the ones that finally made me realize that, doing this journalism thing is something I want to do. Yeah, you can kind of see the early 2000s playing here. And you can see that these are not long videos. I was doing short content before short content was a thing. But again, I was doing it for drifting.com. But let's get back into the news here. And the biggest hint we got was after the Formula Drift round, the final round, in crowning a new champion with James Dean. It was on October 25th that this video broke on Maximum Driftcast. I know Pablo and those guys really well, and they're good friends. But here,
say it, I would give it a 98% chance that this is the last Irwindale Formula Drift that anyone will ever witness.
So that was part of the breaking news. Excuse me. That kind of got this ball rolling again. Now, for any of you that has been following drifting for this long, and especially anybody else who potentially followed short track racing here in Southern California, Irwindale, this isn't the first time Irwindale has talked about closing. It's been talking about closing for probably the past 5 to 10 years, I would imagine. But it was this time that it feels different. Like I said, we have Vaughn coming in here speaking. They had on good authority that somebody has confirmed that Irwindale is closing, but nothing official. And then we get to the news yesterday, and this is coming straight from Irwindale's website. Irwindale Speedway and Drag Strip are closed after 2024 season. Final farewell set for December 21st. Now, again, we've heard this rhetoric before. So, what makes this different? Why do I feel like this is different? It comes down to the final 3 paragraphs. Actually, the third to last paragraph right here. While the closure marks the end of an era, Irwindale's motorsports legacy will continue as its assets and events transition to Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway in Bakersfield for 2025, ensuring that Southern California's racing spirit endures. That's new language compared to the rest of the times that Irwindale has talked about closing. And that's why I'm very certain that this is for real. I don't think if there was a chance that they could keep it open, that this would happen. Now, keep in mind also why I think this is partially true. Is true for another portion is that Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway in Bakersfield. Try saying that 3 times fast. Is also owned by, or co-owned by, Tim Huddleston. So he has some pull at Kern Raceway. So it doesn't surprise me to see that Irwindale events are moving to Kern Raceway, at least as far as racing season goes. There was also rumors. I've never seen anything confirmed about this, but there were rumors that Formula Drift have already been testing out at Kern Raceway to see if that's viable. And if you've never seen Kern Speedway, obviously you don't travel Southern California very much, especially on the 5. But as you go over the grapevine from LA and start heading towards Bakersfield, towards Central California. That's when you start to see this raceway pop up, and that's Kern Speedway or Kern Raceway. Now, Kern Raceway is not super different from Irwindale as far as the big oval goes. It is a half-mile oval track with an 8-degree straightaway and 12 to 14-degree corners, as this points out. Interestingly, they point out a clay oval here on Wikipedia, but there's also I believe they have a moto track, so motocross track, but they also do supermoto out there. And I think this clay oval is used for AMA flat track racing. Fun stuff if you're not familiar, but if you are familiar, you know how fun that stuff is to watch. And again, showing that Tim and Lisa Huddleston have some tie-in with Kern Raceway even right now. I had a good picture of it, but you don't really see this from the 5. You see from this. I believe that's a 5 right there. I haven't been. I hate to say I haven't been by this track, but you can kind of see how much of the bank is, and it's very close to what Irwindale has. But the main difference is how the interior of the track is done. I was hoping they had more pictures of the track. Apparently, I don't. I thought I saved an image, but let's see here. Kern Raceway. Yeah, here we go. This is from iRacing, but it's kind of close enough. But here, yeah, here's even better. So as you can see, the interior is quite a bit different from Irwindale. They do have an interior oval, just like Irwindale does, but it doesn't really travel like an apron like the small track at Irwindale does. So that's one of the big differences. Obviously, that can still work for as a Formula Drift track. But it'd be interesting to see how they play into this different layout, because it is strikingly different from Irwindale. And yeah, here's the 5. Okay, so that's where you see it. That's why I remember. I remember seeing this motocross track mostly, and I was like, wow, I didn't know this was out here. And the dirt oval. But yeah, that's the Speedway. This is, as you're going through the 5 through here, this is what you start to see. But as far as how similar Kern and Irwindale are, let's go back to this little thing here. As far as the half-mile oval goes, they're really close to the same. Looks like Dave Carey, just another friend of mine, for you, those of you that aren't familiar, I think he's listening to me on Instagram. Okay, there's some good Kern pics here that he has. I'll see if I can bring it up here on Opera. Oh, it's a Google Drive. Let's go. Sorry about this, folks. I'm going to try and get this, because I trust Dave enough to know that he's going to give me something good. Messages. Here we go. Huh. I don't know why, but it's not popping up for some reason. Well, Dave, if you're listening in, I'm trying to pull it up here on Google Drive, but for some reason it's not popping up. Let me try. Huh. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't get it to pop up for some reason. Let's see if it'll. Yeah, unfortunately, that's not working for some reason. Looks like Davis, we're trying to write back now. But But anyway, if we're going back into the similarities between Kern and um, yeah, so he's like, yeah, it's a fire track, but it's so far away, and it is. That's something I want to go into in a little bit as far as oval tracks in Southern California and what our situation is like right now. Basically, put it's not great. Um, but yeah, as far as the oval goes, it's a very similar oval with a 9 to 12 degree progressive banking at Irwindale, and Kern having around 12 to 14 degrees in its corners. But but yeah, I mean, there's plenty of room to do a good drift oval track layout. But as Dave Carey points out, it is a ways away. I think it's 113 miles from the center of Los Angeles. Doing a quick little Google map here on my other browser. So directions, go ahead and say. Yeah, it's a good 112 miles away from the center of LA, LA City, not necessarily the county, but the city. So yeah, it's about the same amount of time for me for where I live here in Pasadena. But yeah, it's at 112 miles. That's as far as a paved raceway goes. That is the next closest paved oval that we have now. Technically, I could probably say that Willow Springs will be the next closest, but that's a very tiny track. And the other issue is, as far as I'm aware, um, Willow Springs is still for sale. And I think they're still looking for an owner. Let me see if they have an update on that. Doesn't look like it. Oh, wait, there's an update here. Okay, it looks like it was just a update with the Stephanie Huth. But right now, that Orange Show, that's right, Orange Show is not too far away. And for you guys not familiar with what Orange Show, it's a track out in San Bernardino Raceway. It's again another paved oval. Uh, I think it is much smaller. I don't know how much smaller though. It'd be nice if they give you a track layout on this page, but yeah. So there is another small paved oval, and it's in Orange County. Uh, and unfortunately, I haven't. I'll be honest. I have not been to Orange Show. I've always heard it was kind of fun, as far as like oval tracks go, for drifting events, and it's an old school venue. Um, but yeah, I don't know how likely it would be that Formula Drift would go to Orange Show. If they do, yeah, I think it'd be kind of fun. It would definitely be interesting. Let me see if I can find. Oop. Yeah, as you can see, it's a much flatter oval, so that's kind of the other bit of difficulty you might have, as far as like trying to compare it to Irwindale. Wish there was a much better image. But yeah, anyway, if Formula D goes to Orange Show, that would be quite interesting and quite impressive for Orange Show to get an event that big. and would have really big shoes to fill if they do it. Um, so yeah, that's kind of where we're at. But the other bit of difficult news for any kind of oval racing other than the Orange Show, if you're looking for NASCAR right now, there is nothing. Because right now, in the latest news on, why is that showing a picture? That shouldn't be showing a picture. Um. Anyway, oh, that's what it is. Yeah. So the other, big NASCAR track that we had was California Speedway, and right now, that's that's still nowhere close to done. The last images that we have of it are here on Reddit about 6 months ago. This is the old front grandstand. Some really interesting images from the our Inland Empire. But you see that the main grandstands are pretty much gone now. I think that was one of the replay monitors, the big monitors you see out at NASCAR events, so you can see what's going on. But it looks like they just toppled it over. That's a shame. That's, I believe, the tunnel that was going under turn 4, so that's gone now, or going, and would technically have to go because at last check, the California Speedway was supposed to be turned into a half-mile oval itself. And right now, that's still the case. Right now, the actual economic plan from San Bernardino County is that this is still going to be an oval track. But there are again rumors that that may not happen. A lot of people are still saying that the fact that there really hasn't been, other than the destruction of the straightaways and everything else, nobody really knows what's going on. There hasn't really been any further development that anybody's actually seen other than the destruction. And the last time that NASCAR commented on it was back in August 29th with Ben Kennedy talking about a question or a quote from Steve Phelps. And he said, "Our goal is really to be in Southern California long term. We've continued to work on our plans for Fontana. We have a number of different configurations and variations the team has been working on for what the track might look like and what are the kind of other activities that could happen on that parcel of land that we have there, but also exploring all of our opportunities the Southern California market has. It's a massive market for us, number 2 in terms of quantity of NASCAR fans, a huge media market for us, and in Fox's backyard." Again, they're asking Steve Phelps. He writes for Fox on NASCAR topics. "Strategically, as a sport, it makes a lot of sense for us to be in Southern California. What that looks like in the future remains to be seen. Unfortunately, we weren't able to have it on the 2025 schedule, but bullish about getting it back on the schedule here in the future." So yeah, that's more confirmation that right now it's fair to say that the future of California Speedway is still very much up in the air. Now, like I said, the only positive part we have right now is the fact that this document hasn't changed yet. They would have to, get that approved to go from having the raceway there to not. But again, there's plenty of time, unfortunately, to say, no, we're no longer going to make a racetrack here. And that'd be really sad because as far as NASCAR tracks go, there won't be any within Southern California other than no, there's none. I was thinking of WeatherTech Speedway or Raceway for some reason, but no, that's an IMSA and IndyCar track. You have to go all the way up to Sonoma. That's the next closest NASCAR track in California. After that, there's absolutely nothing. So if NASCAR does, in fact, not go with this plan, this is going to be the first time that Southern California hasn't had a racetrack for NASCAR since 1997. It was a lull between when Riverside Speedway closed down and Fontana opened up for the first time, which, like I said, was 1997. That's a long time. That's well over 10 years if my brain is doing the math right, as far as what I remember from the last NASCAR race at Riverside. I think there were a few other races at Riverside that were not NASCAR, but I want to say there weren't many. It's probably a finishing up of the original IMSA series, and then it closed down, and now is a shopping mall and housing. That's the thought of what's going to happen to Irwindale as well. So, a lot of people have been questioning going back to Irwindale, because that's supposed to be the main topic. But after, like I said, 25 years of racing, the Irwindale is only 25 years old. It was opened in 1999. So, ironically, Irwindale opened after Fontana. But it became a very popular track for drifting, because that's where a lot of people got their exposure to drifting. Like I said, that was where I made my decision that, being a journalist and doing video and stuff like that in motorsports, that's what I wanted to do. So Irwindale holds a very special place in my heart, just like it does for the drift community. But anyway, right now, it's the latest that we have on what's going to happen to Irwindale is that it's probably going to be turned into a bunch of Amazon warehouses and some sort of housing development. IDS Real Estate Group. Do I have them up here? I don't think so. That's from 2022. Here they are. So you can see, this is kind of what their focus is. It's creating places for people to live, investments and properties for businesses and things like that. So, unfortunately, we're fairly certain that Irwindale's gone. It's just, there's no hope for it. If there was, somebody would have stepped up by now. The latest rumor is on the December 21st race, the night of destruction, is literally going to be destruction. From what I understand from this rumor is that once all of the racing is done, the bulldozers will literally roll up and start destroying the front straight. And that will give fans an opportunity to grab a piece of Irwindale before it all gets turned into refuse. So it's really disappointing, just kind of thinking about the way motorsports has been handled in Southern California. We still have Long Beach, obviously. I don't think that's ever going to go away unless IRL goes away. The only other way it would survive is if NASCAR came and said, "Hey, we'll take IRL IndyCar." I'm still thinking back to when I was a kid. Anyhow, that if they lose IndyCar, if Long Beach Grand Prix loses IndyCar, I don't think IMSA would be enough to save it. It could be. You never know. That could be enough to say, hey, we're still going to have a pretty major race here, and it's still IMSA is still a worldwide series, and I think they still do prototype and which would be our Daytona prototype style cars and GTD for that race. And there are tons of support races that go along with it. But I don't believe LMP2 races there, which is kind of a shame. That'd be kind of great to have them out there. So yeah, right now, those of you are race fans in Southern California, you're probably going to rest your hopes on what happens with the Grand Prix of Long Beach, because that's it. The next closest major race is WeatherTech, which is even further north, but not quite Sonoma north. That's NorCal. WeatherTech is Laguna Seca. That's not southern. That's like middle California-ish. A lot more middle California than Bakersfield probably really is, but Bakersfield is still considered middle California to some people. Yeah, that's it. I mean, if it's really kind of just sad, this is the state of motorsports here in Southern California. I'll give you a great example. Like going back to Fontana, that was a very active racetrack. There was track days happening there on the Roval and in the inner road course. They had the driving experience that was on the outside. They had the karting track that was also on the outside. What else did they have there? I think that was it. But there were tons of events happening out there at Fontana before it got destroyed. And there was a drag strip. I forgot the drag strip. And I know that magazines that were based here in Southern California, car magazines, were using that as a test facility. Plenty of them did. You could technically say there's still some like driving experience schools with the Porsche experience. That's actually not terribly far away from me. It's Torrance area, if you're not familiar with that. But as far as like an actual racetrack, no, it's your next best bet for a road course is going to be Willow Springs, and then Buttonwillow is further north of that. And then, like I said, ovals right now, you have Orange Show, Kern Raceway, again, Willow Springs with its two ovals. If you want to talk about clay or dirt ovals, Paris Speedway is still open, but I do question how much longer that's going to be. Again, Willow Springs has a dirt oval, very small, but still used. And I think there's one more. I think there's actually one more in Orange County, but I'm not recalling which one it is. Or if it's closed. It might be closed now. That may maybe why I don't recall it. Yeah, I don't recall which one it was. I'm probably thinking of. But yeah, so that is the unfortunate state of motorsports in Southern California. That's quite a shame because, again, when I came here, there were still plenty of places within LA to have some fun. Like, you know, overall, Fontana was not very far away, and then NASCAR bringing that temporary oval, that was always fun for me to watch. It's, again, just a shame that that's not happening anymore. They've moved it to Bowman Gray, which, you know, obviously that's going to be a very popular move among the majority of the NASCAR base, because most of NASCAR's base is southeastern USA. And Bowman Gray has a long history with NASCAR. Just recently, they gave who was it? It wasn't Buddy Baker. I think it was one of the Allisons. While I'm thinking about it. Bobby Allison. It was Allison. So they finally gave Bobby Allison a recognition of his win, and it moves him up to the all-time winners list in NASCAR. That's interesting. But yeah, last time NASCAR raced there was apparently 1971, so that's interesting. But yeah, so sad news, sad news. Oh, you know what? I just realized I haven't been transitioning my scenes. Oh well. Yeah, you got to see my face more often, more than I meant to. But yeah, let's go into some extra bit of news here, because there have been some interesting turns from the truck world and a certain South Korean manufacturer, and that's this guy. This is the Tasman. It's a gas and diesel engine pickup truck, and man, I I am not totally buying the looks of this particular truck. I think the biggest thing that's throwing me off with it is the fact that the headlights are located in the fender extensions here, and it gives the truck it gives the look of a pig nose, in my opinion, and that's just not attractive. I'll give them credit. At least they kept it looking like a pickup truck. Mostly, it's just, nah, I'm not feeling this. Like, if the headlights maybe extended up into here, I'd probably be a little bit more receptive to this idea. But I don't believe we're going to be getting the Tasman at all. I think this is a Southeast Pacific only pickup truck. Yeah, so that's pretty much the thought of the Tasman. It kind of reminds me of the way they're trying to build this thing up is how the tiny Toyota Hilux, that's probably what its competitor is going to be. I'm trying to remember what they call that particular one. Because I know we covered it. It's this pickup truck that I'm thinking of here. I think that's what its competitor is going to be. What is it called? Cost reduced Hilux. I can't remember what it's called. Apparently, it's just called a Toyota Hilux. That's interesting. But yeah, I think this is its competitor essentially, is because it looks like it has a lot of that same versatility being made into it. Obviously, they're not really changing the length of the chassis length of the 4-door and 2-door, because you can see obviously there would be a door here, so it doesn't look like they're going to offer a short bed, which kind of makes me think that it would be offered as a chassis cab like we just saw with that Toyota Hilux. And again, here's a little bit more proof. Here's that's not called a flat bed, but it's like a knockdown bed that you can make into a kind of a flat bed. So trucks like these are really popular around Southeast Asia because of that. They offer a small size but a lot of utility. It actually doesn't look bad like this one. The way it looks here, it looks not as good. I wonder if they moved the rear axle forward for this particular configuration, because here it doesn't, other than the ugly front end, the ratio of wheelbase to chassis here doesn't look all that bad. This looks horrible. And then you get this front end, it just, no. I am not feeling it. I don't mind the rear, and I don't mind this fender treatment here too much. And the proportion of it as a four-door doesn't look too bad either. But yeah, as a two-door, if this is what they're going to make it as a two-door, obviously that's a utility thing. You having a long bed that gives you plenty of space to put cargo in and keep it actually as far forward as possible, so that way the truck stays a little more balanced. This if they put a shorter version of this bed on this wheelbase configuration, this wouldn't look too bad. I don't mind this. Again, I do mind the front end still. I still think they should take the headlight out of the fender flare here and move it forward closer to here. But yeah, I'm just not a fan of this. And I'm not a fan of this. But again, I get why people like this. It's because it is a utilitarian pickup truck design with a longer bed. And again, that longer frame gives you one of these knockdown beds to really put bigger cargo in, and something that is really useful. According to the drive here, it would come with a 2.5 liter gas engine or 2.2 liter turbo diesel. And what's great about the turbo diesel, obviously, is the fact that not only would it have like over 200 horsepower, but 325 pound-feet of torque out of, going into the transmission, which would either be a 6-speed manual, depending on your market, while everybody else is pretty much standard to get the 8-speed auto. And it's good to see 2 and 4-wheel drive options, but I wouldn't expect less. Looking at the interior, while it's a very, I'm going to go ahead and call that a controversial front end. The interior is not bad looking. Actually, I'm digging these door handles. Those are kind of different and neat looking. I don't mind that too much. And yeah, we're still seeing long. This I don't mind as much. Having been in a few pickup trucks with this type of screen setup, it's not that bad. The ones that have the big tablet looking front end, big tablet looking like it's just stuck on here, yeah, those, not a big fan of those. And it looks like there's touch controls, like physical switches. I can't get a bigger zoom there, but I'm seeing plenty of switches, so that's kind of nice. I will agree with a lot of people that having touch screen controls are, it's not so much that they're fiddly, they do work. The touch controls on Volkswagen struggle. Mercedes kinda. I know I'm not talking about particular or pickup trucks in particular on those two brands, but I still think having physical buttons is a much better thing. Not only for just that tactile feel, but so you can. It makes it much easier when you don't have to look down to see what you're touching. It makes for, I believe, a much safer driving experience as well. Yeah, I know you would eventually get used to fiddling around with a touch screen while you're driving like that, but to me, it's just, it should be intuitive from the moment you get into the vehicle what a control does. You shouldn't have to struggle and look at it and see, oh, that's for the windows, or oh, that's for the AC control, yada yada. And I know everybody wants to try and be like Tesla because it's such a disruptive concept with touchscreen controls, but it just, even in Tesla, they're just, to me, I don't like it. And a lot of people probably remember from my GMC Acadia review back in 2019, maybe 2018. Yeah, I think it was 2018, because it was before the pandemic. I had complaints about the shifter buttons in that year Acadia, but a lot of people who have owned it since have told me at first they were thinking just like me, but they were like, it's actually not that bad once you get used to it. Again, I just don't think it's something you should try to get used to. It should be intuitive from the start. Um, in like with Daimler Chrysler, I am really thinking back to my childhood with Stellantis and Ford to a degree, using a dial. I'm not a fan of that for a shifter. Like, I get why they want to do that. It does help declutter the center console by having a dial here instead of a large shifter like I'm like in a F-150. But at the same time, you could always put the shifter up here. That's what Volkswagen does, even with its EVs. Like, to tell it to go forward or backward or park, it is a shifter stalk on the steering wheel. Do that. If you want to declutter your center console, put a shifter here. But like I said, a lot of people are also thinking like Tesla's, like, we want less controls outside of the steering wheel on the column. We want them on the steering wheel. I don't know. Like, for example, I'll give a great example. If you look at the 2025 Ford Explorer and the 2025 Ford Police Interceptor. Oh, helps if I spell right. Let's just do that. Oh, I didn't know it did that. Whoopsie. Apparently, I think baseball is happening, so I'm hearing my neighbors yelling out about apparently the Dodgers or Doyers, if you're into that particular speech. Okay, so anyway, going back to my point. As you can see here on the 2025 Ford Explorer, the shifter is a dial right here. But if you look at the police Interceptor, which is just a 2025 Ford Explorer with extra, just because it's a police car, it's a column shifter. I don't understand why that is such a hard concept to have. And it doesn't have to look that basic. You can, again, I think when it comes to that type of shifter, Volkswagen does do that quite right. You know, you don't even have to make it a moving stalk. You can make it a twist, and that's what Volkswagen does with its EVs and some of its gas vehicles. I think it was a Taos that has it. I think that was the last vehicle I was in that had a shifter, column shifter, if you want to still describe it as that, even though you don't really physically move it like you used to. But yeah, and like I said, it looks like that's what, as far as their automatic version, try and look at this again, make sure I'm not missing a shifter dial. I don't believe I am. Yeah, I think it's right here. I think that's the actual shifter for their automatic. Let's see. Did we have a better image of it by chance? Oh, there we go. I was going to say Opera's being slow, which not unusual, but at least when it comes to loading stuff, it can be kind of slow. I don't know why. I just realized the taillights are right here on this particular bed style. Anyway. Come on. And the reason I am using Opera, despite the fact that it's a little bit slower. Oh, that's nice. I didn't realize they had the seat storage. That's actually quite a nice feature. That is a really nice feature on a lot of trucks nowadays. Let's see. Yeah, that is a shifter. So it looks like it's in the same design language as the Volkswagens, as I was mentioning earlier. Looks like there might be a push in to go to park, and then that looks like an arrow that's telling you to twist to go forward and backward. So it looks like it's a push button to go in. That's probably what's going to park it. Twist forward to go and drive, and probably twist back to go in reverse. But that's not necessarily true either. Oh, it is. Oh, I just thought about that. It was Hyundai Kia. That was the last vehicle I was in like that. So yeah, instead of having a dial, which again would, if you're serving to try declutter the center console, a shifter like this works pretty well, and it's not in your way. That's kind of the beauty of it. And thinking about it now, it is backwards. I think you actually have to twist it forward, so twisting it this way, I think that puts you in reverse, and twisting this way puts you in a drive. If you think about it from a traditional shifter, that does make sense because you pull straight back to go in a drive, and you push forward to go in reverse. But again, going back to that whole, you eventually get used to it, and the intuitiveness of a vehicle that should be ingrained when you first hop into one. Like, it shouldn't be a mystery how to open a door handle. It kind of is on a Tesla, though. There's little symbols there. But that shifter is a good example of not quite being as intuitive as you would think at first. So, yeah, it's you twist forward. So again, twisting this way, that's going in reverse, and twisting this way is going into forward, or going into drive. Again, I know you would get used to it eventually as somebody who's probably going to own this vehicle for who knows how long. Nowadays, it's over 12 years. But it should be intuitive on day one. You shouldn't. It's that is something that is at least one feature that shouldn't be something you eventually get used to. It should be, as soon as I hop in it, if I want to make it go, it should be really, I shouldn't really have to look at an owner's manual to figure out how to put it in a drive. That is my personal take on, using controls. Same thing with the window buttons. I shouldn't have to go through hundreds of menus to figure out how to open the window. I will give Chevrolet a little bit of beef over this when it comes to doing the headlight control on the Colorado. And maybe, it's going on to other newer Chevrolets as well, like the Equinox. I reviewed did a first drive on them several weeks ago, well over a month ago, probably now. The headlight control to turn the automatic headlight on and off is buried in a menu. It's not a switch. It'd be way more convenient by having a switch there, but they've decided to put it in a menu. Which, again, as far as this goes, this looks pretty good. The one in the Equinox looks pretty decent as well. Same thing with the Colorado and GMC Canyon, if you want to compare the twins there. So, I don't mind having the screen. It's just, I don't really want all of my controls in the screen. I shouldn't have to find it buried in several menus. Fortunately, it looks like they do kind of keep it. They do take advantage of this center space. If you look at a lot of the lower cost vehicles that have a large screen that's going across the dash like this, what you'll find is the center section is usually not a screen. It's just covered by a shiny piece of black plastic across the board. It looks like here on this Tasman they are going to make this a functional part of the screen. Now, how they do it, who knows? This may be a very wide aspect ratio screen, so that may be how they're treating it. Or this could be 3 screens. So it could have a small screen for your instrumentation, maybe a little medium screen for doing most of your general controls, and then your infotainment screen. Or, again, it could be just one whole screen. Actually, do they explain that? Doesn't look like it. So it's probably not been explained in the press release from Kia either. Let's see if we had mentioned it. Capacity. No. Does not look. Actually, a lot of blank space here for some reason. Huh, that's strange. I wonder if that's something to do with opera. But I'm thinking I've got a feeling that if this really comes out, that's the other thing we have to keep in mind here too, as far as with the Tasman. Not only is it probably not coming here, why am I spending time on it? Because it's an ugly truck. But more than likely, I believe this is going to be, if it's true, I think it's going to be one big screen or two. Looking at more, this picture, it kind of does look like there's a small divide right there. So this could be two distinct screens that are kind of merged into one. But other than that, I don't really know. Okay, so yeah, it's okay, so it is dual 12.3 displays. Okay, so that's why there is a clear divide I can see right here. And again, if you hop into a newer vehicle and you kind of start looking at all the angles, like looking across like this and this, you'll eventually see that there is generally a one small divide. Is not one whole screen like a lot of people probably think it is. But yeah, man. Again, looking at it from here, not going to the front end, the Tasman's not a bad looking truck. Looking at it from this end, no, I don't like it. I really don't like it. Like I said, if they could figure out a way to proportion the bed a little bit better to make it look more like this with the two door, because like I said, this body length to wheelbase ratio looks a little more correct to me, whereas on that other two door, actually it was on the drive, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. But yeah, this ratio to me, I don't know. It's like this rear tire needs to go forward more. But for some reason on this utility bed body, it looks correct. Whereas on here, and it could be the angle. Maybe that's what's playing tricks on me. Maybe because it might be because of how this rear bumper is integrated into the bedside here. That may be what's throwing me off. It may be the same. But it's interesting it has distinct taillights for these two different trucks, which, that makes sense. Why would it be the same? Even on cab chassis, like old Rangers and stuff like that, old Tacomas, they had different taillights for this reason. But yeah, I don't know. It's just the biggest thing I just can't get over is how they're doing this headlight. It's just, and it just really puts a really bad proportion. Like I said, it looks like a hog snout. It doesn't have the two nose not nasal passages, but it looks like a hog snout, and I'm not a fan of that. Especially here. Here it really looks like a hog snout or pig snout. It just no, it just, to me, it just doesn't work. I maybe this is what the Southeast Pacific wants. If it is, cool. That's y'all's decision. But to me, no. No, this does not look good. Like it's like, honestly, it's like somebody looked at the. I'm going to say old, but we're talking 1990s Dodge Ram. I said, let's do that, but make the grill bigger, but not. That is exactly that's exactly what that design actually looks like. Now the more I think about it, because if you don't remember, let's go 1994 because I think that was the last year. Yeah, see, it this design doesn't look bad, but if you also hit my table here, but if you also look at it, the the way that this front end is proportioned looks right. Like putting if Dodge did this, this would not be a very attractive looking truck. And the other thing that I think they're doing that Dodge did right with this old Ram versus the Kia is the proportion of the grill. Like if you look, it makes more sense. Yeah, I mean, obviously this grill's really not probably doing anything anymore because this is more likely where the air is actually coming in to cool the radiator or anything else that's behind here. More than likely, this is just all plastic, blanked out plastic, as a matter of fact. But yeah, if you look at it versus the old Dodge Ram, which again has a very similar idea, where basically the headlights were in the fender extension to a degree. Same idea. It's just I don't think it's being executed as successfully as Dodge did it back in the early 90s. And I think that's why I think yeah, it's just this design here. It I keep going back to saying it. It looks like a hog snout, and just that is just so ugly. It almost wants me to take that headlight. If I had a little bit more skill in doing photoshops, maybe I would try and change that to make it look a little bit better. Like maybe find a way to turn this on its edge and do something similar to see if I would feel different about how this looks, like how they've designed this. I just and maybe make this grill a little bit bigger because I wonder if they did that to the Tasman, if it wouldn't be a better looking truck. Because everything else looks great on it. Like I said, I don't mind this fender extension design, and I do like what they're trying to do with the cab. It is different, but still very truck-like, and it kind of hides the actual height of the door because you have this body line here, and then you have the black lower treatment here. The door actually comes down to here, obviously. But looking at it, it doesn't look like that. It looks like a much smaller cab than what it really is. Yeah, I everything else about this Tasman pickup truck I like. It's just this, and like I said, and on the two door, I just think the wheelbase proportion doesn't look proportioning to the rest of the body doesn't look right. But again, I'm starting to question that to a degree because, like I said, with this utility bed, it looks right. And I do like that treatment they did to the rear of the two door. I wish that they had a better angle of this two door. Like I wish they had, instead of being such a, I'm trying to think of the right excuse me, I'm trying to think of the right wording here. With this rear quarter shot, I don't think they should gone a little more shallow like they did here, because I'm questioning if it is an optical illusion with the combination of this rear bumper how the angle they're taking at here, because the more I'm looking at it, I don't think the wheelbase is different. See, I'm starting to wonder maybe if it isn't a camera angle issue, and maybe a little bit of how the body is designed. It's giving me this idea that the rear wheels are further back than I'm thinking. Because I'm willing to bet they're probably not. The more I'm looking at this image, with this image, I'm starting to think maybe it's not as far back as it appears. But yeah, I if it just wasn't for that ugly front end, I actually wouldn't mind seeing this as a real pickup truck coming over and giving Kia a new market that it hasn't really been involved with as far as like a proper pickup truck. Obviously, Hyundai, who is technically the sister company of Kia, if you're not familiar with how car brands work. But when it's kind of weird too, because when it comes to how Kia and Hyundai work here in the U.S., they are treated as two very separate companies. Like if you want to try and find out what Hyundai is doing, you cannot talk to Kia. They will have no idea because the two sides don't even communicate with each other. At least not in a way that would be meaningful. Like say if you're trying to talk to somebody at Hyundai and for some reason you don't have their contact, but you have a contact at Kia. Try and talk to Kia. Heck, hey, who can I talk to here? Eh? that's kind of how it works. But the closest pickup truck that you could say that's built by Hyundai and Hyundai Group is the Santa Cruz. But depends on what your definition of a pickup truck is. If you talk to most people who own a pickup truck, they're probably going to tell you the Santa Cruz, along with the Ford Maverick, are not pickup trucks because they're not body on frame. Even though that's really not something that should define a pickup truck in a way. Because, Honda has proven very well, or very successfully, I should say, that a unibody pickup truck works. It will still tow, it will still haul, it still does everything you want a pickup truck to do. It's just not body on frame. That's its only weakness. And this, I think but this is, I believe, a proper body on frame pickup truck. Because look, even at the axle here, it's a traditional style axle. The only thing I don't know, I can't really see in these pictures. I'm trying to see if it gives me a hint as I see okay, it is a body on frame. There's definitely a frame there. What I don't see is a leaf spring. I think it'd be very strange if they don't put a leaf spring on here, considering one, the markets that's going into, and two, the utilitarian nature of the Tasman. I would be surprised if there wasn't a leaf spring. What the other thing that wouldn't surprise me is if there's an option like Toyota's doing with the Tacoma. The Tacoma has a leaf spring option for 2 trim levels. I think it's the basic version and one of the TRD models. I think it's the Off-Road that might have it, but I don't remember off the top of my head. But everything else is it's a 4-link with a track bar and coil springs. So it's kind of like the current version of the Dodge Ram to a degree, or if you want to kind of compare it, would be closer to the Tundra, of course. But the Tundra doesn't have an option for leaf springs, which I'm still surprised. I figured there'd be enough people that want a leaf spring big pickup truck because of using it as a pickup truck. It allows you to have more load control versus a coil spring. Again, doesn't mean you can't tow or haul with a coil spring truck. Again, plenty of them have done it. But if you really want really good load control, especially when it comes to ride feel, leaf spring is hard to beat. Now, unloaded, yeah, coil spring all day. If I'm not using my truck as a truck, I coil spring all day, every day. But as far as hauling and putting a real load in it, having it laden, it leaf springs ride so much better and will handle that loading so much better. Again, I'm not saying coil springs can't do it. It's been proven time and time again. It's just that leaf springs, by their nature, by how they're designed, they just handle heavy weights on the axle just way better. Excuse me. Let's get a little dry. All right. All right, stream's looking good right now. So let's go into one other bit of automotive news, and this is for if you're somebody that doesn't like taking their vehicle to a dealership. This is huge news. So yeah, federal government expands copyright exemptions for vehicle owners, businesses accessing operational data. The big fight right now, as far as data goes, most of it comes in the telemetrics. So all the readings that a dealer can get over the air. So not necessarily plugging in a OBD2 tester, but generally just connecting to a vehicle wirelessly and doing your diagnostics through that. But it is more than that. Like as you see here, it's, the vehicle owners and businesses acting on their behalf received a 3-year exemption from federal copyright infringement laws when accessing, storing, and sharing vehicle operational data, including diagnostic and telematics, that's the word, telematics data. So again, that's important because that's giving, like, independent shops, like this picture from SEMA is trying to convey here, the ability to read diagnostic information and the telematics, like I mentioned here, from newer vehicles, because that is a big deal. There was a big fight about it in Maine, I think it was, basically trying to say the same thing, but from a state level. So it was the ability to gain that diagnostic measures or diagnostic data from your vehicle for an independent shop. And that was a right to repair issue that I want to say it's Vermont or Maine. I know it's a northeastern state. I remember that. It may have been Vermont, but it might have been Maine. But this is what they were trying to work on, was opening this up so that you or your shop, again, if you're not particularly fond with going to a dealer, would still have that same access. And if you look at something like Fisker at the moment, with how they've gone bankrupt, there is a huge issue in who owns that copyright right now, and how do people access that data that's in the car so you can fix it when something goes wrong. And I'll tell you, one of the biggest fighters against this, it's not really the OEMs to a degree. They have been trying to fight it, but it was John Deere. Of all brands to fight something like this, John Deere was one of the biggest that was trying to keep this from happening. They only wanted their people and their equipment, more of their equipment, to have access to diagnostic data. And you're a farmer. You can't go to a dealer all the time. And there's not always an opportunity to send a person out to the middle of potentially nowhere with a computer to hook up to your tractor and figure out what's going wrong with it. A lot of the times you have to do that repair in the field, literally. But yeah, this is what this exemption is trying to help, is to allow that diagnostic data, and again, the telematics data as well. So this is all the stuff that goes out over the air, and giving independent shops and individuals, to a degree, the ability to access that. I mean, if you think about OBD2 and how much access we've had because of that, it really did help by opening up the ability to actually diagnose a car. You still have to do other stuff. The computer is not going to tell you exactly what's wrong. It will give you diagnostic clues, but it's not going to tell you why an O2 sensor is failing, because there are many reasons why it can fail. It's not going to tell you why your engine's not creating spark. There's many reasons why that can happen. You have to still do the hard diagnostics, but having access to the data has been a huge help since OBD2 was the standard. I'm not necessarily old enough to really have been involved as a mechanic in OBD1, but I was within a transition where OBD1 was still prevalent enough that some vehicles, if you don't know how to get the check engine light to do the flash codes, which is literally flashing out to you, because there are ways to do that. There's even ways to do that on OBD2 cars nowadays. If you don't have a scan tool, you can trip 2 pins. I don't remember what they are off the top of my head, because even now I have an OBD2 reader that's Bluetooth in this case, and I can read diagnostics on my Mini from my phone. But OBD1 and pre-OBD, because there were computer systems that were pre-onboard diagnostic and basically a smart carburetor. But OBD1, you used to have the need for specialized equipment to read it. And that era, there was no federal law that mandated that the same diagnostic equipment that a dealership uses, a home shop or an independent shop could buy at the very least. Like there were many times when OEMs just did not offer their diagnostic tools, like even like hard tools and software tools, like code readers. By opening up the OBD2 database to be universal, even up into the CAN bus era, which we're getting slightly out of, and that's really something that's an interesting topic on its own. But having that ability to have access to that data and have almost all of the diagnostic tools at your disposal really changed the ability of a independent shop to work on a vehicle. That has been a legitimate great thing for the automotive world. So what we're fighting now is the fact that a lot of this stuff can now be done over the air. You don't necessarily have to plug in to an OBD2 port to get diagnostic data. A lot of this data is actually being sent out and into the, I guess technically you could still call it the cloud, but it's, they're not, let me preface this by saying that OEMs are not necessarily monitoring where you're going. It's not that kind of data dive that they're doing. It's more of a, if there is an issue, it can alert you and tell you by your phone, by an app, and say, hey, you need to go to the dealer to get this diagnosed. And the dealer can just wirelessly figure out what's going on with your car. At least, again, figure out as far as what is this code that's popping up now? Why is the check engine light on? That's really still as far as it goes. But still, even having that kind of a clue is very important in your diagnostic work. At the very end of the day, you still have to do the basics, like, is there a leak? Is there an air leak? Is that why this engine is running lean? Is there, is there one injector that happens to be much dirtier, which is an even bigger problem nowadays with direct injection to a degree. But more, the issue is more carbon on the valves, and I'm going off on a tangent. But having access to this data is still, even with EVs, electric vehicles, and extended range EVs that are starting to pop up, at least in concepts, and plug-in hybrids. Even though we're all going to this connected type of atmosphere, the software defined vehicle, an SDV, where you as an owner can potentially buy an app to go in your car and do something to your car. Going into that kind of era. Independent shops still need access to the data behind those apps. So, because there's still diagnostics that need to be done from a software side. Like if it's a piece of software that's failed on you, it's a piece of code. Okay, we need to fix that somehow. And you don't really know that unless you go through and have access to that sort of data. So that's why this is an important thing to have. So it's just, the excuse that a lot of the OEMs that are really hard on not opening up this data is that they don't want you to access too much data, like the big fear about data privacy, which is a legitimate concern, don't get me wrong. But that's not what this is about. This is not about data privacy. It's about fixing your car. And we don't need that much data. We need the data that allows us to see what's screwing up. It's as simple as that. And like I said, it's just so strange that one of the biggest companies I was fighting was John Deere. Automotive OEMs, and if you're not familiar with the term OEM means, original equipment manufacturer, OEM. So basically that's Ford, Chevrolet, which technically actually knows OEM would be still GM in general, but be Chevrolet, Cadillac, Stellantis, which would be Dodge, Jeep, all of them. That's what an OEM is, if you're not familiar with that. You may hear a lot when people talk about parts. That's still true. Original equipment manufacturer still fits. And still means the same thing at the end of the day. But anyway, like I said, the biggest reason they were trying to fight it is the excuse was data privacy. But the reality is that they want more control of their product. They don't necessarily want somebody that's not trained by them tinkering with a car. And sure, there's some legitimate thought behind that, but a competent mechanic's a competent mechanic. It doesn't matter who trains them. Are they going to And by giving them the tools to access things properly, a competent mechanic is still going to work. They're still going to figure this out and do this the right way. Because while cars are all different, they all generally work the same. An engine still uses some way to combust the fuel to drive a piston. So you either have spark plugs or you use compression to create enough heat in the combustion chamber to cause the fuel to ignite. That's at the end of the day, nothing's really changed. If you know how that works, you have a lot of information on how to start diagnosing a car. But again, there are still certain things, like especially with the way cars are becoming these software-defined vehicles, that you now need to know, okay, what about this code has screwed up his car, and how can I access that to at least see if there's an OEM workaround for that? Like, is there a new piece of code that says, because I will say that is the one great thing about software-defined vehicles and getting away from the CAN bus architecture. If you're a Star Trek nerd, I kind of am. You'll always hear them when something happens to a starship, and it's like, oh, you bypass this and do this, and you don't really see them always physically doing something. We're getting, as far as our vehicles are going, we're getting kind of close to that. I know I'm tangenting off on this, and honestly, that topic is probably as done as it's going to get anyway. But the way that a modern car architecture is working is more like a computer. It's literally like a computer network. Let me see if I can find that. What will be the term I'm looking for Intel? It was at CES 2024. I think I looked it up. Yeah, here we go. It's an AI model. But that should... Will it? Okay, here. I know it's The Verge, but it'll work. Do they have the CAN bus? No. Okay, so let me bring that up here real quick. See if they give us like a generic image here. Kinda. Okay, I think I might be able to make this work. Yes. Okay, so if you're not familiar with CAN bus, that's Controller Area Network. I can't remember what bus means. I think it just literally means bus. Anyway, this, if you look at what a CAN bus is, it is basically connecting many, many modules together to make your vehicle work. So you have for example, a central body controller. You have something for the cluster and the wipers. You have a controller for the lights. You have a controller for something that happens in the door, yada, yada, yada. Basically, for everything that you add to your car with the current CAN bus system, you need a new module. Again, look like roof control. You need a module to power the motor that opens either a power roof or a sunroof. Climate control has a module that is controlled by something else that makes things cooler or hotter in your car. That's what CAN bus essentially, in the simplest form that I can explain it, that's what that is. For everything you need to make your vehicle work, inside and out, and with the engine, you have a module that controls that. Today, what cars are going to... Why are you... Okay. Okay, I made that work. Today, what we're starting to go towards is more like a computer network. So you still have a central compute module, and there are technically tiny computers that will then start to do what's known as zonal control. So you'll have it depends on who the manufacturer is. Like, I believe Rivian has zonal control for what they call north, south, east, and west. So looking at a compass on the general look of the car, north, south, east, west. I have to remember. No, other way. East, west. Anyway, that's how Rivian describes it. I think Tesla has another way of describing each quadrant. I think that's probably what they call it, is quadrant. But the basic premise of what's going on here is that sorry, I'm getting distracted by emails because I am concentrating on work as I'm doing this. So what we're starting to transition to, again, thanks in biggest part because of how we're going to a software defined vehicle, is that we're creating a car that is more like a computer network. So again, as I was trying to explain, you have your central compute that will send commands to your quadrants or to your zones, but you don't need this to control these zones or these quadrants, however you want to call them. What you'll have is another little miniature computer that controls everything in this part. Another one controls everything in this part, and so on. The idea is to reduce the electrical load on the battery from the central computer, because it can be it's a big load to drive one module from several different modules, for example. So, like, say if we wanted to turn on the exterior camera, like say we have it in a Sentry mode, somebody bumps the car, well, how does the camera turn on? Now, how most people will probably assume that works is just the camera turns on. But in this CAN bus system, that's not how that works. You would have to have something that tells this module to turn on. And that module may have to be connected to a security module. So you have your central body control. It notices something. It says, hey, can you now turn on this module? Okay, well, when you turn on this module, everything else has to turn on that's related to that module. What this zonal control is going to do is reduce that. So yeah, you may have a central compute, but let's say you just need to turn on the exterior camera because the car got shook. Well, instead of having the central compute wake up and then tell this, hey, or ask this, hey, what's going on? This little tiny computer or tiny module that's self-service for this one little area is all that would need to turn on and say, oh, is there something going on? And until it notices something that's predefined by the OEM, it will never wake up the central compute. It's just going to sit there and say, okay, is there something? Is there something? No. Okay, turn off. And that's it. So in a way, how the layman thinks how the camera turns on becomes more like reality. And again, going back to that my whole Star Trek nerdiness here, if something were to happen, like say this little module here gets damaged, or this little sensor here gets damaged, but you have other sensors connected to it, you don't have to do that anymore. It doesn't have to be dependent on a single module. It's a little hard to really explain because it's still a very new concept. It did get started with Tesla and the Model S. I don't remember which one where they started doing proper zonal control, but it did start with Tesla. And again, despite all the things I don't really like about Elon Musk, and I'm not afraid to say that, there are many things that those engineers have done with Tesla by not necessarily being held back by old school restrictive thinking. Um, there have been some things they have done that are commendable, you know. And zonal control is absolutely one of them because, like I said, you're starting to reduce every little bit of electrical load on the central compute, which means your need for a, a big battery is getting reduced. You're simplifying. Even though it looks more complicated, and at the end of the day, you're actually simplifying how a car works. You're needing less and less modules to do really really simple stuff. Now, the one thing I will say that does kind of happen. Let's see if I have that picture up here. What was kind of neat about covering this Tesla exhibit, I'll admit, and hopefully I don't have to slide through tons of. I will. Hang on, I know how to find it faster. Because the page, I keep hitting that button by accident. The page loading will be a little bit faster on my Chrome. Or so I thought. Maybe it's not Chrome. That could be because I'm live streaming. That could be why it's gotten a little bit slower here. But if I can find the actual image, I'll just show the image. Because there is kind of a, like I said, you're reducing the complexity by removing tons of modules. Unfortunately, you are adding a new complexity to the system. And again, if I could find this image, I'll show you what I'm talking about. I just got to find it. I think I may have found it. Is that it? Yes, it is. All right. Image address. So the complexity is the fact that you're adding a lot more wiring. So that then leads into another piece of development that's trying to happen. It's been trying to happen for decades. But with the way that we're trying to go to this central compute and quadrant system architectures, is that it's leading to us needing a lot of wiring. So of course, the more wiring you're adding, the more weight you're adding. So one of the things that they've been trying to do for decades is reduce the size of the wiring, because the smaller the wire, if it's copper or aluminum, doesn't matter. But the smaller the wire, the less it weighs. And the only way you can get away with that is by going away from the 12-volt auxiliary system. So the way your car sends power to the windows and everything like that, instead of relying on 12 or even 24 volts, there has been a push since I remember my dad talking about this when I was in elementary school. But the big push was trying to go towards a 48 volt or higher system. At the time I was that young, it was 48 volts, because you could again get away with much smaller wires for the same wattage, because that's really what you're trying to do, is create the same amount of wattage through the wire, rather than worrying about, because if you went to a smaller wire, you increase the resistance. So let's start with that. Smaller wire, bigger resistive load it is. So to get the same wattage or power usage out of that same thin, skinny wire versus the thicker wire that you may be comparing it to, you bump up your voltage, because then you would use roughly the same amperage at that point as you would with the small voltage big wire, and you not only save some weight, but you're using roughly the same amount of power at the end of the day, even though you're using smaller wires, more resistance. So that's what we're probably going to see another. That's probably going to be another next big push. Is what I'm trying to say. Is that you may start hearing people talk about 48 volt systems more and more and more as we get closer and closer to more cars having this type of architecture. And again, that's why I said, I think it was last Saturday or the Saturday before. That's why I said that while I do want to have lived in that very early era where we transitioned from primarily horse and carriage to the car, I'm actually kind of glad to be in this era, because this is, for the average person, this is probably not as big a deal. I'll admit that. But as somebody who is into not only technology, but just into how vehicles work, this switching over to this architecture, like I said, gets us really close to how Star Trek did its starships. Again, because now you're not limited to having multiple modules to potentially break and screw everything up. And the other thing was, it was brought up, and rightly so, during the pandemic, where it was hard to get those modules because not enough companies were making the silicon that it needed. Like automotive OEMs needed. And again, this goes back to the old school thing. Hit the microphone. The old school thinking of the established OEMs, the Fords, the Hondas, the Hyundais, Jeeps, yada yada. Because they, again, it's good and it's bad. It's good, the way to think like traditional OEM, because they want to have the things that they know work. Now that's why Ford took so long to do Blue Cruise, and yet here it is, and it's pretty decent. But then you look at Tesla, for example, and how they push until it breaks, and use you and I as the beta tester. You can kind of see why that's a bad thing, because unfortunately FSD and Autopilot have many problems. There are things they don't recognize. Like there was just a story in the drive, I think yesterday or today, talking about how FSD or Autopilot, I don't remember which one they said it was, but it didn't recognize that there was a deer in the road, so it never slowed down and frankly didn't even stop. So when you think of it in that sense, the way that the established OEMs does it is good. Where it breaks, where that situation flips, I keep hitting the mic, where that situation flips is when we had the pandemic. Because again, they were using silicon that is, in terms of computer and electronics engineering and technology, is old, really old. Like where we're talking about for example, I'm trying to think of what the processing unit in my computer, we're talking about tiny nanoscale, like below 10 nanometers, I think it is. It's like 7.5, and maybe even starting to try and get smaller than that. OEM silicon was still 20, 30, sometimes maybe as low as 15 nanometers in their silicon size. But there aren't a lot of chip manufacturers that are doing stuff that big because the computer and electronics technology industry is going smaller. Obviously there's a huge difference. If my desktop breaks, it's not going to kill somebody. Whereas if this chip in my car breaks and it's controlling something safety related, well, that's something that could potentially kill somebody. And in safety, I mean by like airbags, seat belts, anti-lock brakes. If any of the modules that control that fail and there's no other real fail-safe behind that, because it's all dependent on one piece of silicon that's not being made by very many people, that's a huge issue. So that's where that whole push until it breaks, using newest stuff, don't matter how unproven it is, that's where that kind of thinking does work. But again, it doesn't work when you're talking about something that's taking control of your vehicle and driving for you. You shouldn't have that type of mentality. Like, again, I think the way that OEMs are doing that is a smart thing. But as far as using smaller and smaller silicon, going towards this networking style of architecture, I think the established OEMs should be a little bit faster at going towards that. And I think we will start seeing more OEMs go with it. Besides like Rivian, Tesla, Lucid, anybody else that's within the age space of those companies. Oh man. So yeah, it is this kind of stuff that kind of, I won't say it keeps me up at night, but it keeps me so engaged with the automotive industry because it is an interesting transition. Like, as I was mentioning with OBD and OBD2 and all of that, that was an interesting transition as well. There were still vehicles on up until, I'm trying to think what the last new vehicle was that used a carburetor, because I know for here in the U.S. it was up until the late 80s. I want to say it was like somewhere between 85 and 88. There were still vehicles that were potentially still using carburetors. And TBI had only just really started catching on, which in itself was a huge revolution back then, because at that time the only real fuel injection you had going on was mechanical. I remember owning a 83 or 84 Volkswagen, oh gosh, I can't remember which one it was. It wasn't a Rabbit. Corrado. I think it's Corrado. It had a mechanical fuel system. It was using, it shockingly surprised me, because I wasn't expecting that, because I was a kid at the time, because I thought, it's, I realize it's early enough to be really simple, but not early enough to not have something electrical controlling the fuel, but it was. That was the funniest revelation to me. It was like, oh, there were cars still using mechanical fuel injection up until the 80s. And what struck me at first was, like, I saw that, and the first thought that popped into my mind was that, oh wait, did I get a diesel engine? But then I realized, no, wait, I just put gas in it and it's not shutting off and not doing anything weird. And then, of course, but this is pre-Google days. But yeah, I eventually learned that, yeah, thanks to forums. This is before Google and its AI. And for some reason, I'm getting a phone call from Jack Reynolds. Give me just a second. I'm going to transition to the pause screen. All right, I'm going to go ahead and come back here. It looks like, okay, um, it was a chat issue. Fortunately, Jack gave me a call and said, hey, I can't type in your uh, chat here. So I will say I apologize to anybody that was trying to converse with me. I see Jack on the screen now. So hi, Jack Reynolds. Um, yeah, I didn't realize that was how that worked. Um, Apparently, I switched on the follower to be 10 minutes. I don't know why. I think there may have been a setting I was trying to experiment with, and I screwed up by keeping it on. So yeah, sorry. That's probably why nobody's really been paying attention or has been able to truly communicate with me like I was hoping. So hey, that's an error on my part, and I apologize for that. Anyway, I was talking about here. If you want to go ahead and chat, and you're coming back for the first time, please come on out and come back and chat with me here. I will see it because I do have um, the chat room actually unpinned from the rest of Twitch, so I can actually see it. So anyhow, where was I going with the whole CAN bus thing? Anyway, I think this is just a really interesting era to be involved with the auto industry because of just how things are transitioning. Um, and it's exciting. I legitimately think it's exciting to be, even as somebody that's just a journalist and covering this not quite like how I used to as far as being like a mechanic. I do think that it is a great time to be involved with the auto industry and everything that goes on with it. Um, yeah. Uh, let's see here. I tell you what. So, like I said, again, another topic. I think it's going as far as I can take it for the moment. Um, could do Car Mechanic Simulator. That might be a fun one to start playing around with. The one thing I do wish I wish I was able to bring up Dave Carey's Google Drive file because he took some really good pics of current Speedway. Again, if you didn't join me earlier or just joining me now, I had started talking about Formula Drift, or not Formula Drift, but Irwindale, and how I'm again fairly certain that is closed. Jack, I think you've had experience at drifting at Irwindale, do you not? See if he's still there and can reply to me that on that. Yeah, he probably hasn't heard me. Yeah, a bunch of times. Okay, that's what I was thinking because it was you and Dave, I think, that had your own 240 with an LS swap in it, or was it a 350 swap? I don't remember. But it was I do remember it being a V8 powered 240 SX coupe. That at least when I first met you when you were drifting out here. Oh, it was a Dart 400. Okay, so still big V8, but yeah, still fun car to watch. Um, and I know that for a while there, Moto IQ had the whole Dart catalog in it. Yeah, I think I remember that. Um, I definitely remember how it sounded. It sounded awesome when it was running. And but Moto IQ also had done a whole drift series out there when to so you could get a Formula Drift license. So there, as far as the drifting culture is concerned, losing Irwindale is going to be a pretty decent hit. Um, and like I said, for me, it's really sad to think about because that was the track and event in 2008 that made me say, "Hey, I want to do what I'm doing right now full time." And again, and again, not to disparage drifting.com, but I paid my entire way to go cover that event from flying all the way out from Virginia. And you know, it made me think that that's worth it. And that's again what I miss and what I love about getting back into covering motorsports and covering the aftermarket, and makes me really excited for next week. For those of you that don't know, um, I'm going to be doing an RL stream next Thursday from the SEMA show, and then following that on Saturday, I'm going to do it again, but from Super Lap Battle and at Bunwillow Speedway, one of the tracks I was explaining. That's one of the many that's in somewhat Southern California, but just really far away from LA. Buttonwillow is just like Kern Speedway is in Bakersfield, or roughly Bakersfield. Buttonwillow is the area. Um, but yeah, it's losing Irwindale is a big hit. We're not sure what's going on with Willow Springs because it's still for sale. And again, I have not seen any update on that personally. If somebody has actually taken that over finally. And hopefully, if whoever does get it isn't going to do the same thing that they're going to do to Irwindale. And I think Willow Springs might be slightly more protected because it is a California historic site. Because that is it's either the longest running motorsports facility as far as a road course goes, or it is considered the original purpose-built road course. Because there was a time there was some road racing in L.A. If I remember right, it was somewhere in Hollywood. They used a park, and that had a road going around it, and that was how some road racing was done in Los Angeles. If you're wondering what era that is, we're talking early. We're talking like 30s and 40s, I believe it was. Let me see if I can find that, because that is an interesting track to talk about. I'm trying. I remember. I swear I do remember that, but maybe I'm thinking something different. Uh, anyway, yeah, I'm not pulling up correctly. Maybe we'll go Los Angeles. Yeah, I'm not pulling it up. So, oh, was it Santa Monica? Is that the one I'm thinking of? No, I think it's too early because that was 1909. Gosh, I wish I could find it now. But yeah, there was. Um, so we're talking, really early days. But anyway, but for drifting, actually, I'll tell you what, it would be an equally harsh blow to, excuse me, drifting here would be losing Willow Springs. Because what's great about that facility is that it has multiple tracks. I don't know why I said sail. If you're unfamiliar with Willow Springs, let me transition back to that now. There are multiple tracks on this facility. Like I said, Big Willow is the one that most people will be familiar because it has the Omega turn. And then there is Balcony. That's where a lot of the drifting happens. At least back when Just Drift was doing it. I don't think Just Drift is even around anymore. So Balcony, what's kind of neat about it is that it uses a skid plate or skid pad. I don't want a skid plate, but skid pad. So it gave you so many great options as far as like making a very somewhat simple course, but such a varied course. And of course, there was Horse Thief Mile. That's the one people are probably going to be most familiar with because it has more of that canyon look to it. What's probably will be very surprising is that when it comes to television commercials that feature canyon like driving or even like racetrack driving to some degree, a lot of that's done here at Horse Thief Mile in Willow Springs. The only other track that has a lot of commercial work done for it, as far as like TV commercials, movie trailer stuff, and things like that, is Irwindale. Irwindale is used for a lot of advertising, so that's going to be a huge hit for brands out here. Do they have? Yeah, so there's the two oval tracks at Willow Springs. There is the Walt James Stadium, which is the dirt oval, and they call it. I think they call it Speedway. Is that Speedway? Yeah, Speedway Willow Springs, which is this one here. Um, and as far as like drifting goes, that happened on both those tracks. That's how versatile these two ovals are. Um, Streets of Willow is another one that was constantly used because again, you can break it up into two separate tracks, maybe even three if you're really careful on how you plan everything. But what was great about this was everything that would happen during. Oh my gosh, what's that big event that used to happen under Just Drift? Somebody will remind me one day. But it was a great big giant party of 2 days of nothing but drifting. It was so fun. I really do miss that event. Too bad I don't miss it enough to remember the name for some reason. But it has been forever since that happened. Like I said, with Just Drift going away, nobody stepped up to the plate. All Star Bash. That's what it was. All Star Bash. And what was really cool about that event was that it wasn't just all the grassroots guys coming out and having fun. There were pro guys that came out not only in what used to be, well, it still may be known as drift missiles, but basically decently medium horsepower cars, but built to, have fun in and just not worry about stuff breaking or bashing into stuff. Um, Such a fun event. Uh, it was always, all the Southern California drift car guys were there, like Mike Essa. I think Cal Mohan would come out. I went out there one year. Danny George was out there for those of you who remember Danny George and his V8 powered Miata. Um, Jeff Abbott, I think I want to say I was another one. Um, Matt Powers would go out there. I mean, just all these historic and formerly really relevant names in drifting would come out and just go out drifting for fun. It's not like they're in competition anymore. And it's where you would see people trying crazy things like doing backwards entries and trying to see just how far they can push a car. And it's just, oh, it was such great times back then, It's, like I said, it's a shame All-Star Bash that nobody really took up the mantle and tried to keep that alive, along with Just Drift. And I actually announced there for a few years, or at least 1 year, maybe two. I was also announcing at Vegas Drift for a while, and I don't even think that's around anymore. I know there's one follower I have on here that's based in Vegas, Wandering Raven. They may know, because I see they still have a car that they use for drifting, but I don't know what their. It looks like it's still Las Vegas Motor Speedway, but like I said, as far as I remember or know, I don't think there's a Vegas Drift anymore. I haven't seen anything on it recently, anyway, and that may be on me. That may be me not realizing that it's still around. If it is, great. That's great news for Las Vegas. If not, it looks like there may be somebody has taken that over. And then I know Dave Carey, he was listening in. He wasn't chatting because obviously I screwed up the chat. I'm not going to live that down, am I? Dave has been working with Jeff Jones, another Southern California drift legend. He has started up a drift series as well. Let me transition here and see if I can find that. Actually, it'll be not on there. It'll be on here. And I did promise I would go, but I think I may have missed the last one because it was supposed to be Irwindale as well. Hot Pit Autofest. Yeah, I think I missed that one I was going to try, but I want to say that unfortunately I may have been out of town when that happened. Dave might correct me on that. But and if you guys aren't familiar who Dave Carey is, he is a great photographer. Somebody I worked with at Moto IQ, and I don't think we did Speed Hunters together. I think that was just me and Larry at the time. But I got to know Dave Carey from working at Moto IQ and following Formula Drift for 2 years. And hell, he was the one that helped me find a place to move when I first moved out here to California. If I didn't have him as a contact, I'd probably be living in a car or not out here. That's more like what would happen. I would not be in Southern California if I didn't have Dave's help. And same with Larry. I'll go ahead and admit Larry Chin helped me a lot when I first moved out here as well. Just helped me find jobs, and by a roundabout way, they both have kind of influenced how I would do photography. Growing that as well. along with getting yelled at by the comment section in Speed Hunters on an event I fully admit I did terrible photography at, and it just taught me a lesson that bad. It made me improve, you know. And it wasn't equipment; it was a I don't know. It was just for some reason I just didn't take good photos for that event at first, or I didn't edit them well. Um, but yeah, it's those two guys are a couple of big helps, you know, and through Dave I got to meet Jack Reynolds, Tokyo Jack, here in chat, and see his drift car, and uh, go on some adventures with him buying another car. I remember that one. Um, but yeah, Hot Pit Auto Fest. That's one I should have gone to, because again it was another one of those last Irwindale events that unfortunately we just won't have access to anymore. Uh, that's weird. I'm actually monitoring Twitch on both my phone and on my browser. They're showing me two different things. It's kind of funny. Two different things as far as like viewers go. It's like showing one viewer right here and multiple viewers on another one. So anyway, but yeah, anyway, I was talking about, for those of you that didn't know, that I am going to be doing those two live streams. Um, Another one I'm potentially working on is the Grand National Roaster Show in late January, very late January, early February. Um, and I may have another one in between there, depending on um, depending on how they feel about it. And actually, another thing I did want to say is, unfortunately, I did try to ask for media access for the December 21st final Irwindale anything. And unfortunately, they have said that they are not going to do any media for that particular event. It wasn't given a reason why, and it wasn't because, oh, you're too small. It was just a general, hey, we're not going to do any media, because I've done media event, or I've gone to Irwindale for a couple of different things as media and never had issues. So it could be because it is the final event. Maybe they just want to keep it as an in-house celebratory show. But I did tell them that, you know, hey, if this changes, I would be honored to go there, because, like I said, Irwindale has a very special place in my heart for my career, for doing this and journalism. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and transition to a game here. And like I said, I'll keep monitoring chat, keep watching you guys. Because there is one I want to mess around with. I haven't messed around with enough. Where is it? Ah, here it is. And the reason I want to mess around with it is because, again, going back to my childhood, is seeing stuff like this and playing around with it. So let me go ahead and do my pause screen for just a second. Let me get this set up for you. It is kind of a surprise, but figured why not? Oh, it was just there. It popped up. There it is. And so you see the update. Yeah, I'm gonna try playing around with a little bit of old school rally. I've come to enjoy it. It's one of two old school rally car style games that have have popped up in the last year. I may have to convert this. All right, y'all hearing it right now. Let me actually turn this down a little bit because I don't want to blast you guys from too. All right, come on. So, because I probably will have to get this into a windowed mode. There we go. Up, kinda. So the only issue I have. Oh wait, I fixed it. Kinda. No. Kind of wish I had a borderless mode, but I think it'll be okay. There we go. All right, now I got that working. Go ahead and turn this on now. So yeah, if you're not familiar with what this is, it's a old school style 3D rally car game, much in the same vein as like Sega Rally. I think that's probably the closest version that I can really apply to what this is trying to capture. And we are probably going to see just how terrible I am at driving rally car stuff, but let's give it a try. Yeah, let's go here. So the controls are rather basic. It almost has that Sega Rally feel. And just to let you know, if I really do suck, I will blame the controller because I'm playing on a controller and not a steering wheel because I don't have...
Easy right. Medium left. Over bridge.
Oh, see, I'm already going up.
Hard right.
But...
Checkpoint.
It does... The only problem that I have is it doesn't really have... It is absolutely that arcade feeling.
Easy left.
I really wish it had a shift light.
Left right chicane.
I'm not really paying attention to what I'm
Hard
doing.
right.
But
over bridge.
Even if I were paying
Hard
attention,
left.
there are, it is kind of that old school arcade
Checkpoint.
feel.
Right,
Because
left,
it
chicane.
is, these games didn't have
Medium right.
a super complicated
Hard left.
physics model back then. So in order to recreate
Medium
that
right.
feel, that's what it feels like. It feels like you're playing on very
Medium
analog
Easy right.
controls.
Hard right.
And you really don't get
Medium
any
left.
sort of proper
Checkpoint.
traction
Easy
feedback.
right.
Like the only real
Easy left.
indication that you're possibly pushing
Medium
too
right.
hard into a corner
Left right chicane.
is that you crash.
Easy right.
But
Easy
other than
left.
that, it is kind of
Easy
fun
right.
to play.
Medium left. Water. Hairpin right.
I mean, it's fun enough. It's
Medium
if
left.
you've played any of these old school
Medium right.
arcade games,
Medium left.
you'll definitely get the feel of this pretty quick.
Hard right.
And if you don't try and scratch your face while you're coming up to a hard turn.
Finish.
I failed. Let's see if I can do this again. So yeah, if you have that feeling from old school rally games,
Easy right.
you'll fall in love with this pretty quick because it does feel like one of those old arcade games.
Easy right. Medium left. Over bridge.
But
Hard
don't,
right.
don't expect anything close to even a modern
Checkpoint.
arcade simulator as far as how this feels,
Right left chicane.
because there are still some things that it doesn't quite do right. Like again,
Easy right.
I do wish there was some sort of better shift indicator.
Easy left. Easy right. Left right chicane.
Whoa.
Hard right.
But like I said, it's
Over
entertaining
bridge.
enough that it is
Hard
fun.
left.
It's like I do pick this up every once in a while just to play some sort of
Easy right.
arcadey
Checkpoint. Right left chicane.
racing game.
Medium right.
But there are
Hard
things
left.
I do kind of wish it would do a little bit better. Definitely how
Medium right.
the I wish there was more indication
left.
on, are you starting to
Easy
slip
right.
like that? Are you coming in too hot
Hard
and your
right.
front end's gearing? Yeah. Are you in the, do you need to get good?
Medium left.
Like I said, I think the biggest thing is I wish there was
Checkpoint.
a shift like
Easy right.
indicator. Say, hey,
Easy left.
you've topped out, because the
Medium right.
engine noise, even when I'm playing it
Left right chicane.
without worrying about coming over
Easy right.
the
Easy left.
microphone here,
Easy right. Medium
is
left.
that the engine
Water.
noise just, it doesn't really give you an
Hairpin
indication
right.
that you're hitting the rev limiter.
Medium
Like,
left.
it would be kind of fun to maybe have
Medium right. Medium left.
a pop noise
Hard right.
to kind of indicate that you're hitting the rev limiter.
Finish.
That still failed. It'd be nice to have something that gives you some sort of indication that, that hey, there is you're hitting that rev limiter and you need to shift. And there just isn't in this game. So, like I said, it has its quirks. So let's see if I can finally do this. I know I'm playing on that expert mode.
Easy right.
Let's see if I concentrate a little bit more, if I can do anything better.
Easy right. Medium left. Over bridge.
I
Hard
think I'm
right.
too slow there.
Checkpoint. Right left chicane.
And it doesn't always seem to get my
Easy right.
shift command. I'll say that. Like if I'm
Easy
trying
left.
to quickly downshift,
Easy right.
like I was doing there, it didn't really
Left right
respond
chicane.
quickly. A little too low gear there.
Hard right. Over bridge. Hard left. Easy right. Checkpoint. Right left chicane. Medium right. Hard left. Medium
Right
right.
there, it should give me some sort of indicator that it's bouncing on the rev limiter.
Medium
rather
left.
than that. Like maybe even like,
Easy
like I
right.
said, a slight pop would be kind of nice. To go pop, 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 pop,
Hard
pop.
right.
And there, it didn't capture
Medium
my
left.
downshifts.
Checkpoint. Easy right.
I don't think it was a control.
Easy
that
left.
Give me any input lag or anything.
Medium right. Left right chicane. Easy right. Easy left. Easy right. Medium left. Water. Hairpin right. Hard right. Finish.
There we go. There we go. All right, yeah, I'll just blame trying to be entertaining. All right, so it's not giving me the option to repair just yet. Like I said, it does remind me of Sega Rally enough that it's still fun. Hey, there's Dave Carey.
Hard left.
Yeah, I screwed up the settings
Easy
in
right.
chat. That's why you're having issues with trying to respond.
Easy left.
Jack gave me a call and said, hey,
Medium
the chat's
left.
not working. And I'll figure
Easy
out what's
right.
going on.
Medium left.
That
Checkpoint.
was unfortunately on me.
Medium right.
Like I
Hard
said,
right.
I think I left a stupid control on
Easy left.
and didn't think about, oh, that's
Jump.
going to affect
Medium
people.
right.
And it did. Anyway, got it fixed so people can chat
Jump.
now.
Right left chicane. Water.
So yeah, if you're just joining me, this is
Easy left.
old school rally, which is
Checkpoint. Medium right.
trying to be in the same vein as
Easy left.
Sega Rally, if you remember
Easy right.
playing those in the arcade.
Right left chicane. Hard right. Easy left. Easy left. Checkpoint.
Easy left, yeah, sure.
Easy right. Easy left.
Like I said, I'll blame myself for trying to be entertaining
Right, left
and using the
chicane.
controller, but mostly. No, I'll probably just suck at this game. I'll be quite honest.
Finish.
Wow, it's really being harsh on me today. Like I said, as a general, just having a little bit of fun, kind of arcadey game.
Hard left.
It has its charms because it looks the part, but yeah, I just wish there were
Easy right.
more or better
Easy
indicators.
left.
For, like right there, I should have had
Medium
some
left.
sort of indicator that hey, you need to
Easy right.
pay attention more while I'm complaining about them driving.
Medium left. Checkpoint. Medium right.
No.
Hard right.
I do wish it had some sort of shift
Easy left.
indicator. Honestly, that is
Jump.
the biggest issue I'm having
Medium
right now.
right.
It's like, and like I said, I do have.
Jump.
Really, that's damaging.
Right left chicane. Water.
Even when I have the volume up, because I do have it down, but even when I have it up, it just there
Easy
is
left.
no good sound
Checkpoint.
indication
Medium right.
that hey, you need
Easy
to
left.
shift up right now.
Easy right.
And as far as like the actual grip is concerned,
Right left chicane. Hard
it's,
right.
it's very much on the vague side because you don't know if you're
Easy
really
left.
truly sliding until it really gets slidey. And I realize that's
Easy
an
left.
arcade. It's
Checkpoint.
supposed to be like an arcade feeling. I screwed it up twice.
Easy
I
right.
realize that's supposed to be the arcadey feel,
Easy
but
left.
I don't remember it being
Right
this bad.
left chicane.
But it could be me thinking back on rose-tinted glasses, as it's known as, and thinking it was better. Maybe it wasn't. Wow, I think I was slower that time. Ugh. So let me try concentrating. Let me see if I can actually get this done.
Hard left.
So I'm gonna go silent.
Easy
for
right.
Just a second.
Easy left. Medium left. Easy right. Medium left. Checkpoint. Medium right. Hard right. Easy left. Jump. Medium right. Jump. Right left chicane. Water. Easy left. Checkpoint. Medium right. Easy left.
5,000.
Easy right.
500's off.
Right left chicane. Hard right. Easy left. Easy left. Checkpoint. Easy right. Easy left.
I'd like to run a little faster.
Right left chicane.
Definitely done that one faster.
Finish.
There we go. Hey, there we go. 142. Now I can repair the car. And pretty good. All right. So Finland, of course, that's... Oh. I was expecting snow. Oh. No, wait, Finland. That's a forged type rally.
Medium right.
Oh, there we go.
Hard left. Medium right. Easy left. Easy right. Easy left. Medium right. Checkpoint. Hard left.
But yeah, when
Hard
this game does things right, it does do things really well.
Jump.
It's just... Ah.
Easy left. Medium right.
More indicators. Some that indicates
Left,
you
right,
need
chicane.
upshift. Maybe a little... Some sort of other indicator that you're getting
Easy left.
in a corner too fast and it's starting to push
Medium
on,
left.
understeer on you.
Medium right.
The sudden braking around
Checkpoint.
for
Easy left.
oversteer, that's not too bad. Because at least you can catch it, so it's
Medium
giving
right.
like that typical arcade artificial grip when you need it.
Medium right.
And again, right there,
Easy
I
left.
did a quick downshift and it just didn't catch
Easy
it.
left.
So I don't know if it's
Medium right.
something with the
Easy left.
game. I don't know if it's something with the game or
Easy
because,
right.
you know, I use this controller for
Easy
other
left.
types of games, not just racing. And even
Checkpoint.
the other arcade game,
Easy left.
arcade rally game that I've got
Easy
here,
right.
which is Drive
left.
Rally, with a little hashtag if I don't know how you're supposed
Water.
to pronounce that.
Right left chicane. Easy right.
It doesn't. It has.
Easy left.
It does have its
Easy
own
right.
faults,
Jump.
and it's mostly in. Whoa.
Easy left.
Mostly in
Easy right.
the co-driver that they give you.
Finish.
It seems like their response is to tell you, hey, easy right or 6 right. They use the number system on like what speed you're supposed to go in hashtag Drive Rally, I guess is what you call it. But whereas this one's using easy right, easy left, hard right, hard left, chicane. They're using words in this game, which is again a callback to those old arcade games, at least as far as I remember them. Whereas hashtag Drive Rally is the co-driver speaks more in the modern style, well, I say modern style. It's really not that modern. It's been around. That type of rally talk has been around for a while. But it has the issue of the co-driver not telling you soon enough. Like this co-driver that they have programmed here, even though they're not using the speed number system. I don't really know what to call it, but their call outs are perfect as far as timing goes. Whereas hashtag drive rally, the call outs are usually really late, if they do a call out at all. Both of these games are relatively new. I think this one, Old School Rally, came out relatively recently. I think it was like beginning of this year or so. And then I'm going to stop calling it hashtag drive rally. I'm going to call it just drive rally. It came out officially, I think, a couple weeks ago. So there may be still some teething issues on that particular game. And with this one, there have been updates that have done some improvements on it. But I like I said, the biggest things that it needs to fix are relatively simple, in my opinion. Like adding some sort of indicator, like there, it's giving you an indicator that you're on the rev limiter, but when you're actually driving, like right there, it should be doing some sort of pop, or should be doing some sort of shift light, something. It'd just be nice.
Easy right. Hairpin left.
Well, like I said, it still
right.
has its fun moments. It's still an arcade racer, so you don't have to be hardcore
Medium
into
left.
sim racing. Like I said, I'm playing this on a controller.
Hairpin right.
Got a scratch. There we go.
Checkpoint.
There, it didn't. I was trying to
Medium
shift down in
left.
the second gear, and it didn't shift down. And again, I
Jump.
don't think it's the controller.
Over bridge.
I think it's something with
Left right chicane.
the game. Oh, I'm
Hard
way
left.
too fast. I didn't even hit that hard.
Easy right. Checkpoint.
I'm a second behind. Over a second behind.
Hairpin left.
Okay, there it caught the shift. that I
Medium
was
right.
doing.
Hard left.
And there it did.
Checkpoint.
Okay, pretty close to 2 seconds ahead of the trap time you've got.
Medium right.
It's like when you do a quick
Medium
sequence
left.
of shifts. That's when
Left right
it
chicane.
doesn't seem to catch that I'm hitting that input for some reason.
Hairpin right.
Right there. Like it should have been in second gear by the time I started accelerating.
Finish.
Well, at least I'm getting through these a little bit faster now. Whoop. I don't want that. Yeah, might as well fix it. Oh, this is my first time on China. This looks interesting. Looks like it's gonna be a
Hairpin
pavement
left.
rally.
Hard right. Hairpin left.
Right there, I should have been.
Hairpin
second
right.
gear. But I will give it credit. It
Medium
does feel
left.
better.
Hairpin right.
Felt like it was going to hurt something.
Medium left.
There is actually an emulator
Easy
do
right.
for the PlayStation 2. Because there is a game I really wish would come back
Easy
out
right.
as some sort of remaster
Hairpin
from
left.
the PS2 era. And it'd be really easy to do.
Hairpin right.
Wow. This is going to suck.
Right left chicane.
And it's an old PS2 game. I think it also came out
Checkpoint.
on
Hard right.
the Xbox. But it's one
Medium
made
left.
by Capcom, and it's called Automotive.
Hard right.
I have it on
Easy left.
an emulator now,
Easy right.
and I'm kind of reminded just
Hard left.
how analog those controls were. How analog those controls were.
Easy right.
Even on the original PlayStation.
Left right chicane.
And it's definitely, this is definitely better than
Easy
that.
left.
But like I said, Automotive
Easy
has
right.
done a few things that
Hairpin left.
are correct. If I know I could do it
Medium
without
right.
getting in trouble, because I don't know if I would
Right
get in
left
trouble,
chicane.
as far as like copyright on Twitch,
Checkpoint.
is
Medium left.
I would play that on here because it's a really fun arcade racer
Easy left.
that
Medium right. Hairpin
they
left.
started to do things similar to Forza Motorsport
Medium right.
in that you could option a car
Easy
with
right.
like
Hairpin left.
named parts, like Dulux is a one, and you have Tomei, they have Rays, they
Hard
have
right.
like every tuner brand that was
Easy left.
popular back then, and
Easy
still
right.
growing, that you could
Hairpin left.
put on your car. It was really cool because a lot of that's
Easy right.
just like with Gran Turismo.
Checkpoint.
That was a
Hard right.
series
Hairpin
that
left.
introduced me to a lot of the aftermarket
Hard
tuner
right.
culture. And, open my eyes up
Easy
to
left.
some different brands
Easy
out
right.
there besides Ford,
Right,
Chevy,
left
and
chicane.
Holly, and Littlebach.
Easy left. Easy right.
Oh,
Hairpin left.
had no indication I was going to. Whoa. Probably should have handbraked that.
Hairpin right. Medium left.
But yeah, if I can do it and know that I'm not going to get any kind of copyright trouble over it, I will play that. Hopefully somebody can actually tell me if that would be okay. Because like I said, I'm doing it on an emulator here on my computer. I know some brands are okay with emulators or seemingly not as particular
Easy
over
left.
it. But I know companies like Nintendo, for example, are very litigious over emulators and showing those off in the public.
Medium left.
So I don't know
Hairpin
how
right.
Sony would feel, or Capcom for that matter. But
Medium left.
yeah,
Easy right.
unfortunately, I don't even have
Easy right.
my now even just from
Medium left.
living here in
Checkpoint.
California, I don't have my old. I sold my old PlayStation a long time ago to
Medium right.
upgrade to a
Hard left.
that was weird. Upgrade to
Easy
a
right.
Xbox at the time.
Medium
'Cause
left.
You could actually get somewhat decent pricing from places like
Easy
GameStop
left.
at the time.
Easy left.
At least the ones I had dealt with. Come on.
Right left chicane.
Maybe that'd be a good excuse
Jump.
to try and find an old PlayStation 2 and Automotive East
Medium
to
left.
play on.
Checkpoint.
Ooh, I'm not doing good on this map.
Right left chicane. Easy right. Easy left. Hard left. Medium left.
There was not a decent
Easy right.
feel of grip
Jump.
there.
Checkpoint.
Okay, now I can hit. That's good.
Easy right.
Hope they're not too much on time.
Medium left.
Like right there,
Medium left.
I really didn't have any good indication that I was losing front grip.
Jump. Easy right. Easy left. Medium Medium right.
Come on. I was supposed to be third gear.
Medium left.
That should have been fourth
Medium
gear. What the
right.
heck? Like I said, there are times when this just, it doesn't register every input. That's one of the small complaints. It's not really that small of a complaint because look what it's doing to me. He says as he's fixing a broke car. But yeah, of all seriousness, that's I do enjoy this game. I just that there are small things that would really help
Easy left.
make this into a great arcade racer.
Easy right. Easy left.
And again, in my opinion, there are small fixes. Like I said, having a shift light give me a little bit
Right,
more
left
indication
chicane.
on doing it, going in the corner and understeering
Checkpoint.
because I don't have any front
Easy
grip
left.
for some reason.
Hard right.
It'd just be nice to have that. Like,
Easy right.
that was
Hairpin left.
like I was understanding that I was oversteering there. My rear end was coming around, but there are times you come into a
Hard
corner
left.
kind of fast like that. You don't have that
Medium right.
sense of
Checkpoint.
the
Hard
front
left.
tires aren't digging in and they're not steering you
Easy
like
right.
they're supposed to. And right there,
Easy
I try
left.
to use the shift light to know I need to shift up
Medium right.
or pops and bangs, something.
Hard right.
And I know,
Medium
again,
left.
it's not like I'm really dogging on old school
Right,
rally
left
about
chicane.
this, but again,
Jump.
I don't think they're game breaking,
Medium left.
except for the whole weird thing with the input. And again,
Medium right.
when I play this off stream,
Checkpoint.
I have
Medium
that
left.
same weird
Jump.
input issue.
Hard left.
So it's not because I'm streaming on Twitch. It's because
Medium right.
I just think there's something that the game isn't catching when I'm trying to do a quick downshift.
Right left chicane. Medium left.
And it doesn't always catch a shift downshift. 'Cause right there, it should have been in third gear.
Finish.
Didn't hurt me too bad. Still came in under time, but yeah. Ah, this is the last stage. And again, as far as like coming in and looking like an old school arcade game,
Easy right.
this is old school rally
Right,
is
left
doing that in
chicane.
spades. It's capturing that old early 3D
Right left chicane.
look that people like me and hello. I don't.
Easy right. Checkpoint.
Hey, okay,
Medium
ahead of
left.
time, but despite that big hit.
Left right chicane.
But anyway, it's this is the early era of 3D gaming.
Easy
that,
right.
that
Medium
people
left.
like that are my age grew up on.
Left right chicane.
It also taught me there was
Checkpoint.
more to off-road racing
Easy left.
than just
Easy right.
Baja. Even growing up on the East
Hairpin
Coast, I
right.
was very familiar with racing open desert, which is what Baja racing is. For like
Medium
trophy
left.
and stuff like that. If you're not familiar. But it was playing games like that
Easy
were
right.
similar to this
Hairpin left.
that taught
Checkpoint.
me, you can jump a
Medium right.
Ford Focus like that. Obviously, you can't jump
Easy
a
left.
Ford Focus like that.
Easy
But
right.
you can race on dirt like this,
Hard left.
and it's fun.
Medium right.
They open up games like that. This is
Medium
based
left.
off of. Open my eyes
Easy
to a
right.
whole new world of motorsport that I just
Finish.
wasn't very familiar with. What got me into, ironically, what got me into open desert racing was my love of the Volkswagen Beetle, the original Beetle. That was a car I'm still fascinated and hope to own one day. But I was into those, mostly because I did grow up watching Herbie the Love Bug as a kid, and I remember it was a book fair when I was in 2nd grade, and I saw this book, and I can't remember how I got the money to do it. I either saved it up somehow by doing enough chores, or maybe I begged my mom and dad enough to let me buy this book because I was so enamored with it and seeing this Beetlebug on the cover racing in the desert. That's what opened me up to off-road racing in general. That, ironically enough, led me into what's known as short course racing, because I saw that on TV, because I kind of knew of the Mickey Thompson series to a degree, but not so well, because by the time I really started getting into this stuff as a kid, they had really gone away. But then there was Core Championship Off-Road Racing, and I saw that on TV, and I was like, "Oh, hey, this is like those desert trucks, but on a road course made of dirt. That's cool." And in between that was, of course, my discovery of rally racing. So this is the cool things about growing up around this that brought me into motorsports. It was more than just my dad being a mechanic. I'm hearing fireworks in the background. I'm guessing that's because the Dodgers won. Yeah, I'm willing to bet that it is. Let's see. Let's check Facebook real quick, see if anybody's saying anything. I'm not really a big stick and ball. Ooh, that one was close. Yeah, it looks like it. So yeah, if you're a stick and ball fan and want to know when about this took place, because you'll probably be watching on the VOD on my YouTube channel. Looks like the Dodgers won. I'm definitely taking that from the sound of fireworks going off for sure. So I wonder what that actually... Again, I'm not a stick and ball guy, so I don't know what that actually means. It says this is game 5. Aren't there usually 7? Yeah, there's usually 7. Okay. Cool. Happy LA. Go. Yay. Gotta do my thing. Tell you what, let's do... helps if I click back on the game. Oh, what is that supposed to be? Oh, wait, is that Seat? I think it's supposed to be a Seat. I think this one is supposed to be... Citroen? Probably. I don't think it's a Renault. Anyway, Oh, okay. So I've opened up a new type of rally car. That's interesting what that does. Well, let's take the Toyota Celica out for a run. Oh, I can't. I need to stay in Rally A. Boo. Hey, it's an Escort. It is kind of a shame they don't have the actual branding on the cars. Yeah, I realize that again. It is kind of following the way that arcade rally games were going. Anyway. So this is supposed to have the best handling, so it didn't feel like it. So let's keep going with it. So let's go ahead and... Oh, it's 10 rounds. That's probably a little too much. Yeah, what the heck? Let's just do it. Where do I get the... Let's not get money. Oh, that's how I get it. So I need a classics car. Classic? I do have my little Mini, because obviously being a Mini fan, I'm going to have this car. What the heck? Let's see if I can do it. Again, rally
Medium left. Right left chicane. Over bridge. Medium right.
I don't know what happened there, but I
Jump.
suddenly lost all acceleration.
Checkpoint. Easy left.
Wow, it says I'm over 2 seconds behind. But I did have that
Easy
hard
right.
stall there for a second.
Easy left. Over bridge.
It could be because my
Left
car,
right chicane.
could be because my car is just slow.
Hard right. Easy left. Easy right.
But I wonder if that's how they...
Easy left.
It's so weird. It's like when you get into
Checkpoint.
6th gear, it's the same, basically the same
Hard
gear
left.
ratio as
Medium right.
5th gear, and then just like
Easy left. Easy right.
I don't know. It doesn't feel right.
Hard right. Medium left.
Like, why on earth is it nose diving its
Medium
engine
right.
RPM when I breathe on the brakes?
Checkpoint.
That's so wild.
Easy left. Medium right. Jump. Hard left. Hard right. Easy left. Easy right.
Like right there, I can shift
Medium
to
left.
6th gear, and it's basically the same.
Easy left. Hairpin right. Easy right. Finish.
Oh, darn! I came in just over a second. Huh. Jeff.
Medium left. Right left chicane. Over bridge.
There we go. That went a lot better. I don't know if they're trying to
Medium
make...
right.
Because, you know, thinking about it,
Jump.
the Mini of this era wouldn't have a 6-speed
Checkpoint.
gearbox.
Easy left.
It would have a 5-speed or 4-speed actually.
Easy right.
Yeah, it was a 4-speed.
Easy left.
So I wonder if that's how
Over
why
bridge.
they're doing 6th gear like that.
Left right chicane.
That's a choice.
Hard right.
The other thing I don't get is
Easy left.
why do they treat the brakes like that? Like,
Easy
why
right.
does it slow down so hard
Easy left.
to where it feels like it's basically stalling the engine out?
Checkpoint.
6/10 behind still.
Hard left. Medium right.
Oh,
Easy left. Easy right. Hard right.
right
Medium
there.
left.
It's so weird that it just stall. It's
Medium
like it's
right.
stalling out the engine. It's so strange.
Checkpoint. Easy left. Medium right. Jump. Hard left. Hard right. Easy left. Easy right. Medium left.
I didn't even use the brakes there. Yeah, don't use the brakes at all in this car. That's
Easy
what
left.
this is. No, it's not.
Hairpin right.
Oh, okay. Get the grip.
Easy right. Finish.
Darn, still too slow. But I was faster that time. Maybe it just isn't the car for this particular. Maybe it's just not the car for that particular series. Maybe that's why. Because. Oh yeah. That's why. Just look at that top speed. Look at the brakes in comparison. That's probably why it feels so strange. Gives you great handling though. Alright, so... Keep going with this little car here. Yes. Nah, let's do this. Oh, that's why it gives you the Audi, because it jumps you up immediately to Rally S. Hey, look, it's a Corolla. The Lipa Grande. That's that's cool. All right, let's try this out.
Easy left. Medium right.
Come on.
Medium left. Easy right. Easy left. Medium right. Easy left. Hard right.
But you know, I guess in a way, now I'm kind of thinking about it, it is kind of nice that the cars do
Medium
handle radically different.
Easy right.
That Mini I was just in doesn't feel
Left right chicane.
like this Renault.
Hairpin left.
I think it's supposed to be Renault.
Easy right.
But the two cars do feel different.
Easy left.
So that's a positive.
Hairpin left. Hairpin
But this
right.
input lag, for whatever reason is
Easy
happening, is not fun.
Easy right. Checkpoint.
Didn't hurt me there. So
Left right chicane. Medium left. Medium left. Hard right. Easy right. Medium left. Medium left. Hard right.
right there,
Jump.
it didn't shift down like I wanted it to.
Easy left. Medium right. Easy right. Medium left. Easy right. Medium left.
The other good thing I'll say
Medium
about
right.
this is that
Left right chicane.
it doesn't have
Medium right.
that typical
Hard left.
arcade control where this old school
Checkpoint.
arcade control like this would be modeled off of
Easy left.
after
Easy right.
of very analog. Like
Medium left.
I do have
Right left chicane.
granular control. I know I've been using that word way too often.
Easy right.
But
Easy left.
I don't have to.
Right left
I'm not
chicane.
on all the time, off all the time.
Medium right.
Blah.
Hard left.
I'm not on
Medium
and
right.
off with the throttle like a light switch in this game.
Hard left.
Whereas the Automotive
Jump.
from that
Easy left. Medium right.
from that PlayStation 2 era game off
Medium
of
left.
Capcom, that one does have that.
Easy right. Hard left.
Its steering is more analog.
Easy right. Checkpoint.
Because that
Medium
era
left.
PlayStation had the DualShock
Hard right.
controller. So you had you
Medium
could steer
left.
like I'm steering right now, but
Easy
the
right.
throttle and brake
Medium left.
inputs were based
Hard
off
right.
of switches. They
Left
didn't
right
have
chicane.
any analog control in the buttons like
Left right
a few
chicane.
controllers have now.
Easy left. Medium left.
Like I think
Easy
this
right.
controller has analog button
Finish.
control, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not. Doesn't feel like it now. I feel it. Like I don't feel like I have. I don't have the ability. So it's just a straight button. If anybody's curious, it's a Turtle Beach wired controller of some sort.
Easy left.
And the reason I have it is because it was the cheapest but decent Xbox controller style
Medium left.
controller that I could afford
Hairpin
at
right.
the time I bought it. I probably should get
Medium
a
left.
better controller or an actual
Easy right.
Xbox controller at some point. But
Easy
this
right.
thing is serving me pretty well. I mean,
Medium left. Checkpoint.
it's
Medium right.
I've read a lot of the reviews on it, and
Hard left.
most of them were
Easy right.
generally positive. But
Medium
I
left.
can say that I have definitely not experienced any of the major issues.
Easy
I've
left.
had this controller for
Easy left.
2 years now. So it's, as far as like controllers go, it's probably pretty old.
Right left chicane. Jump.
Oh, I thought I was in trouble with that one.
Medium left. Checkpoint. Right left chicane. Easy right. Easy left. Hard left.
Right there. It should have...
Medium left.
I know I keep complaining about it.
Easy right.
And it is annoying.
Jump.
But I just wish I knew...
Checkpoint.
I wish I could figure out if it was
Easy
something
right.
maybe I could fix.
Medium left. Medium left.
But I do wish
Jump.
that
Easy right.
I could find a way to fix
Easy left.
that
Medium
weird
right.
lag, but when I'm doing a quick downshift.
Medium left.
Like if I do
Medium right.
a
Finish.
if I do a concentrated effort on doing the shifting where I'm not trying to do it super quick, it does okay. But when I'm trying to downshift quickly, it doesn't catch every downshift input that I give it. If anybody's if anybody's curious, I'm using it on the way I do the shifter layout on the controller is that my upshifts are on the A button
Easy left.
and my downshifts are on the X button.
Easy right.
Kind of, sort of,
Easy left.
but not really mimicking a inline shifter.
Right left chicane.
And this is actually a control scheme
Checkpoint. Easy
I
left.
remember really
Hard right.
liking from I
Easy
think
right.
it was the first Forza. Like the first
Hairpin
Forza, I
left.
believe, allow you to have the shifters in that pattern. And then my emergency brake is on the B button. And I think, Y is my view control.
Hard left. Medium right. Checkpoint. Hard left. Easy right. Easy left. Medium right.
And I'll be honest, I have not been using
Hard right.
the handbrake.
Medium left.
Almost because
Right left
every
chicane.
time I've ever used it, it's like it's overkill.
Jump. Medium left.
You know, the brakes are plenty
Medium
enough.
right.
I don't really need
Checkpoint.
to do the
Medium
handbrake
left.
on these
Jump.
handbrake turns, or on these
Hard left.
on the
Medium
hairpin
right.
turns. It feels like it's going a little too far.
Right left chicane.
And it might be because
Medium left.
it's not a
Finish.
analog control. It's a digital control. So when you hit it, it's all or nothing. So yeah, I haven't been using the handbrake on any of this. Maybe on this one I'll show you what I'm talking about. Looks like there's a couple of hairpins.
Easy right. Right left chicane. Right left chicane.
There's a fucker. I was looking for.
Easy right. Checkpoint. Medium left. Left right chicane.
Like right there, I did not hit the handbrake, so that kind of gives you an
Easy
indication
right.
why I think it's
Medium left.
a little bit overkill when I have used
Left
it.
right chicane. Checkpoint. Easy left. Easy right. Hairpin right.
Like I said, it just I can hit the brake
Medium
and have
left.
more control than using the handbrake.
Easy right. Hairpin
And
left. Checkpoint.
I think that is because of the fact that it
Medium
would
right.
be or is
Easy left.
a digital control
Easy right.
rather than an analog one.
Hard
Maybe
left.
why. 'Cause
Medium right.
it is all or nothing.
Medium left. Easy right. Finish.
He couldn't stop. I do wish there was a little bit. I know, again, I realize this is a arcade game, but I do kind of wish there was a little bit of tuning, like giving you a little bit of gear ratio control, maybe even a little bit of brake balance control. But you know, it's an arcade game. You don't really need to be that much of a simulator. You know, it's not a simulator. It's not a simulator. It's just an arcade game.
Easy left. Easy right.
Way too much.
Hairpin left. Easy right.
Maybe even a choice of tire would be good.
Medium left. Hairpin right. Checkpoint. Medium left. Jump. Over bridge. Left right chicane. Hard left.
Ah, saw that coming. I say I saw it coming. If I saw it coming,
Easy right.
if I really saw that coming, I would have hit the tree.
Checkpoint. Hairpin left. Medium right.
Well, I'm not now. Might as well retry.
Easy left. Easy right. Hairpin left.
Like, if that was really an actual solid surface, because that's,
Easy right.
even in an arcade, that's a plastic sign. It's not going to hurt your car.
Medium left. Hairpin right. Checkpoint. Medium left. Jump. Over bridge. Left right chicane. Hard left. Easy right. Checkpoint. Hairpin left.
Where I hit that darn tree.
Medium right.
Right here.
Hard left. Checkpoint. Medium right. Medium left. Left right chicane. Hairpin right. Finish.
I thought it was going to kill me there for a second as far as time goes. Why are you doing replays all of a sudden?
Medium right. Easy left.
Screw that up.
Easy right. Hard left. Medium right. Jump. Checkpoint. Right left chicane.
appreciate that the
Easy left.
even with this low,
Medium right.
low graphics setting that this
Hard
is
left.
trying to simulate,
Checkpoint.
it does give you an indication of where you should probably be.
Medium
on
left. Water. Easy right.
Like they show you, there's a few trees out in the distance, so you can kind of
Easy left.
aim yourself like you're supposed to.
Medium right. Medium right. Checkpoint. Medium left. Medium left. Medium right.
Too fast.
Hard left. Finish.
Another Kenyan stage.
Hard left. Easy right. Easy
There's
left.
Another, just thinking about
Medium
arcade
left.
games that just kind of popped in my head.
Easy
just a
right.
second ago. I remember playing
Medium
one
left.
with,
Checkpoint.
had time
Medium right.
the
Hard right.
Chevrolet
Easy
Squirrel
left.
Crew.
Jump.
Now I remember it because it had
Medium right.
the at the time Team Chevy colors
Jump.
of the blue, white,
Right left chicane.
I
Water.
can't remember if it was red or if it was like that old school bright pink color,
Easy left.
like a pink orange
Checkpoint.
highlighter color.
Medium right.
I think it was that.
Easy left. Easy right.
But it was an arcade game. It was linear like
Right,
this.
left,
So it was kind
chicane.
of like basically a rally game.
Hard right.
But it was all off-road trucks.
Easy left.
And the hero truck was the Team Chevy truck. But it was kind of like semi-3D like this one.
Easy
Not
left.
semi-3D. It was just
Checkpoint.
3D like this one. I
Easy
can't
right.
remember the name of the
Easy
of the
left.
arcade game. I remember playing a
Right,
lot
left
when I was
chicane.
growing up and going to that vacation home I mentioned a couple streams back up in Irwindale, Tennessee. And it ate up my quarters for sure. But I loved it because at the time I was a big Chevrolet head. Like it was that S10. Same one that Jimmy Johnson drove. But he was driving the Mickey Thompson series with that truck. With the Team Chevy logo like that. Which is where he came from, by the way, if you're not familiar with where Jimmy Johnson came from. He actually raced in, kind of like Robbie Gordon did. He was an off-road truck guy, and he came from Mickey Thompson, whereas somebody like Robbie Gordon, he came from the desert racing stuff. Though now, of course, he has his own version of the stadium trucks called Super. He calls it Stadium Super Trucks, even though they don't race in stadiums anymore, which is a real shame. But I can't really blame him. That's an expensive thing to do, because what was making his Stadium Super Truck series kind of unique for the stadium races is that he did both. He brought in dirt and he brought in temporary pavement. And I heard a weird noise outside. Didn't sound like fireworks. Anyway, so yeah, that was kind of the fun thing about his series, is that he was kind of when I interviewed him about it at the time, he said he was trying to emulate what we're seeing in the Baja at the time, and that was a good section of paved road along with the desert that we're all familiar with when it comes to racing in the Baja. And but doing that at multiple stadiums month after month, or even month after month, that gets expensive. So that's why he's kind of stuck around with being he probably won't admit it, but it's a support series for IndyCar. But fun support series for IndyCar when they go to their road races, because if you've never seen the Stadium Super Trucks run, they are awesome. For what they are freaking awesome.
Medium right. Hard left. Medium right. Easy left.
Going back to that off-road truck arcade game. I'm gonna
Easy
look it
right.
up, because I am seriously wondering what it was called. I think
Easy
it was
left.
made by Midway.
Medium right.
I seem to recall that because I think
Checkpoint.
they
Hard
actually
left.
made a port for the N64.
Hard left.
I have to see if it's one of the ones that
Jump.
Nintendo brought back for the Switch. If it did, maybe make it worth
Easy left. Medium
buying
right.
a Switch and playing.
Left right
But I have to see
chicane.
if that's one of the games. I have to figure out what the game is called, and then see if it's one of the ones that has been given
Easy
the
left.
official Switch emulator for older
Medium left.
Nintendo games like the GameCube, N64,
Medium right.
NES.
Checkpoint. Easy left.
Like, I know Midway made Cruising USA. I'm sure many of you probably
Medium
remember
right.
that one. And I want to say it looked like
Medium
the same
right.
graphics. It's definitely the same cabinet style
Easy left.
as the stand-up Cruising USA games. But it was all off-road trucks and like you were racing in Baja.
Easy left. Medium right.
And
Easy left.
other than the whole
Easy right.
shifter feel or shifter issues I'm having here,
Easy
it kind
left.
of does have this feeling. The more I think about it.
Checkpoint.
Crap, slow down.
Easy left. Easy right. Easy left. Water. Right left chicane. Easy right. Easy left. Easy right. Jump.
Oh. Yeah,
Easy
just
left.
did make that one right.
Easy right.
And we go finish.
Finish.
Oh gosh. I thought I was in trouble. Didn't break anything this time. Okay. Crud, I don't know what round I'm in now that I think about it. Yeah, if I can figure out what
Medium left.
that was called, and like if they brought any of the old
Right left
Midway
chicane.
arcade ports over,
Over bridge.
yeah, it'd be worth buying a Switch for, because again, I'm having fun with
Medium right.
it. Another one, I wish
Jump.
somebody would port and put on Steam. I don't know if anybody
Checkpoint.
remembers this
Easy
one.
left.
It was a game called San Francisco Rush. That
Easy right.
that was an arcade game that was a blast.
Easy left.
Um,
Over bridge. Left right chicane.
It's I think he had official cars, so I think he had like Fords and Chevys and
Hard right.
Dodges, which for Dodge it would have been only one car,
Easy left.
the Viper. But
Easy right.
but it was
Easy left.
again an arcade game, so it had pickup trucks in it, but they
Checkpoint.
were everything kind of had
Hard left.
not simple.
Medium right.
She did my input there.
Easy left.
So it absolutely had
Easy right.
arcade physics. But what was really amazing about it
Hard right.
was how
Medium left.
massive the racetracks felt.
Medium right.
I just remember having so much fun
Checkpoint.
with it,
Easy left.
and it came over.
Medium right. Jump.
You know,
Hard left.
if I remember correctly, the port version of it actually
Hard right.
had kind of like a car combat of sorts.
Easy left.
Like Mario Kart,
Easy right.
and it kind of made
Medium left.
it into like an accidental open world type racer.
Easy left. Hairpin right. Easy right.
Concentrating on childhood and concentrating on the drive.
Finish.
Let's try some. And that achievement, it said
Medium
wandering
left.
around. If I remember correctly, that's the achievement for driving on every track at least
Right,
once.
left chicane. Over bridge.
So it's interesting that you can get that achievement. I would say fairly
Medium right.
early in this game.
Jump.
Stay over here.
Checkpoint. Easy left. Easy right. Easy left. Over bridge. Left right chicane.
Come on, we're supposed to go down third.
Hard right. Easy left. Easy right. Easy left. Checkpoint. Hard left. Medium right.
Probably brakes a little too early on that one.
Easy left. Easy right. Hard right.
Right
Medium
there, I
left.
actually did my input. I'm surprised.
Medium right. Checkpoint. Easy left. Medium right. Jump. Hard left. Hard right.
I missed that call for hard left.
Easy left. Easy right. Medium left. Easy left. Hairpin right.
Again, I'm not using the handbrake
Easy
there
right.
because it's just, I just don't feel the need for it.
Finish.
There we go. I think this is the last one, but I can't remember now. But this is a good one because it's kind of that one that gives you like that
Easy right.
canyon
Easy
feel to
left.
it.
Easy left. Hairpin right.
True initial D style
Hard right.
mountain road driving here.
Hairpin left.
That's
Hairpin
actually
right.
another arcade game that made me go broke.
Left
Oh,
right
man,
chicane.
but fun. Another one
Right
that was so
left
fun.
chicane. Checkpoint.
I kind of wish it had a proper
Medium right. Easy left.
Console port.
Hard left. Hairpin right.
Just shoot it down the neutral. Anyway,
Hard left.
it's one I wish I had a good console port. One I would wish I could find
Easy left.
again
Hairpin right.
was one of the versions of Tokyo Extreme Racer.
Easy
But
left.
it was all
Easy left.
mountain road racing.
Hard left.
So it was.
Hairpin right.
I swear I remember it
Medium
being
left.
within that series of games. I'm really not doing good.
Medium left. Easy right.
I remember it being in that series
Medium
of
left.
games, and maybe even been called
Easy
like
right.
Tokyo Racer or something.
Left
What
right
was kind
chicane.
of fun about it was that they made the
Medium
official
right.
races
Checkpoint.
during the day,
Easy left.
and at night you could do
Medium left.
night races.
Hairpin
that were
right.
quote unquote unofficial. That was the whole kind
Medium left.
of excuse the game gave it for day and night cycle,
Medium right.
or day and night
Left right chicane.
environments.
Easy left.
I may have to retry this.
Hard right.
Oh, I'm definitely going to retry it now.
Medium left. Easy left. Easy right. Medium left. Medium right. Hard left. Right left checkpoint.
I don't think I hit that. Let's say
Hairpin left.
But anyway,
Hairpin right.
as far as like a close
Easy left.
approximation to that initial
Medium right.
arcade game,
Medium left.
that was it. That Tokyo
Medium
Extreme
right.
Racer, Tokyo
Hairpin
Racer,
left.
whatever they called that particular one.
Hard right.
But it also had like you could put on
Hairpin left.
parts on your car,
Hairpin
tuning it and
right.
stuff like that, just like the initial D series of arcade games.
Medium left.
I wonder if we even have
Hairpin
any of
right.
those little cards. Kind of fun if I did. I don't think I have them here though. Holy crap! I actually made the time. Yay! I finished. All right. And now I am a pro driver. I've unlocked a hidden car? Oh, what car did I unlock, I wonder? Was it that one? No, I've had that one. Or, no, I had that one. So, what? Hidden car. A tractor! No way! Oh, it's too bad it's 15,000 credits. I'm short by 5,000 credits. It is kind of fun they have a Corolla in here. Though this one, because of the fixed headlights, is technically a Sprinter, isn't it? Can't remember which one has the fixed headlights. 8.6 fans are going to kill me on that one. Alright, well, let's go ahead and transition back to me for a moment. And yes, I want to quit. Alright, it's 10 o'clock here, and unfortunately, I have work tomorrow. So yeah, I do still have another stream coming on Sunday. It'll be at my normal time of 9 o'clock in the morning. And then again, next week, I won't be doing a Wednesday stream. I will be doing a Thursday stream, and that'll be my first IRL stream from the SEMA show. And then the Saturday after that, I will be going over to Button Willow to do the IRL stream during Super Lap Battle. But I do want to say thank you guys once again. I apologize for the issues with chat today, and I've fixed that, so it shouldn't be a permanent issue. And there we go. And yeah, again, I appreciate you guys coming in. If for some reason you wanted to help directly support this endeavor I'm going on with the not only the stream but the IRL streaming, you can do a donation at the Patreon link that's in the Twitch channel. But it's really simple. It's patreon.com/garbage online. But that's it for tonight. And again, I appreciate every one of you that come on today, and I hope to see you again next time I stream. But until then, bye.